All right, and we should be live. Let's do a quick little check here. All right,
Right on time.
We should be live. Let's do it.
All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome in to the low budget LCS. Right on time at 8:30 p.m. Surely, it is Less Force on the stream tonight. Joined with me is a fellow jungler, Some say that we are clones built from the same lab. That has not been confirmed. It is Papoba. How are we doing
Someone
tonight?
you don't know is not my father. I am beating the allegations. I am not a clone, and Less Force is not a clone of me.
That's, like I said, it's all alleged at the moment. They can't confirm it. They can't deny it. I don't know where I came from, but that's a discussion for another day. Speaking of what we are here to discuss today, it's in League of Legends. I don't know if you've had a chance to tune in to the past couple nights of the stream. Couple of banger games so far. We've had some econ games, some commercial games, and now we're moving up to financial here. Got Team Volatility taking on the... I'm going to assume that it's Jentlemen, because it's with a J. I'm assuming it's still pronounced the same, and due to our little time delay that we had going on, we're actually probably just going to be able to head right into the draft here. So we go ahead and pull up our spec link.
And you were saying that this is a particularly notable matchup, if I remember correctly, with a compelling storyline, I might say.
Yeah, so I guess we'll see how quickly these guys decide to start up the draft. But the simple narrative going into this, on the red side, we have the Jentlemen, who you're not going to recognize them by that name. You're not going to recognize them by their usernames. But you are going to remember back in Season 10, a year and a half ago at this point, these guys were part of one of, if not the greatest moments in LBLCS history. They were the hashtag Rev Up movement. That last seed in commercial, facing off against a 1 seed, pulled off the upset in a 3-game banger and went all the way to semifinals, where they lost to Bear TV, who was on High Alert. He is the org owner of High Alert, but this season, due to some points configurations or whatever happened, he was a free agent, and now he is playing on Team Volatility this season. So the storyline kind of writes itself here, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how this one plays out.
Yeah, I'm appreciating the full commitment here from the Gentlemen. If I'm not mistaken, they have all changed their in-game names so that they start with a J. Is that correct?
Yes, I do believe so.
And they are all using the same profile picture. Not that you can see that, but I just need to speak it into the ether so that it is known that this is a team of commitment. This is a team of synergy. And if you ask me where my money's going tonight, it's going on the Gentlemen.
It is, kind of like that expression, dress to impress. These guys are, in fact, dressing for the occasion. They've all come in their best suit. They got the first name going, and we'll see that in game. I'm a big fan of it, and let me just let them know that we are ready. And looks like we should be able to just hop right into draft here.
Awesome.
Maybe one team still trying to see if their link's working. They had to make a second one. Look, it's the first week of the season, right? It wouldn't be the low budget LCS if there wasn't some draft shenanigans.
If there wasn't a little low budget.
And I do know, because I was playing in another league this summer, in recent weeks, the draft clients have been really, really bad. I know at one point I had to go and play or do a draft on a whole nother website. I think it was called like Apex Esports or something. It was not good.
Oh no.
Like, the draft clients are all over the place. So we'll see if they can get draft flow to work. If not, we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, hopefully. Oh, got a caster compliment here for Chasey BB.
Yeah, I can take this one. Chasey BB, I know is one of the new members of they're under TV, but it's kind of, you know, like a sister org now. You know, Zodiac and Memer 6 have kind of expanded the Rat Kingdom, really getting into the royal sector this offseason. And Chase CBB is on the commercial team, I believe, the Rat Lords. Has some very spicy picks in the jungle. I haven't seen them firsthand, but I've heard there's some 80 carries in the jungle. I've heard a Nautilus jungle. I'm not sure if I've heard of any legitimate, you know, jungle champs, but should be in line for a really good season. And he's really kind of bought into the whole Rat identity. So looking forward to seeing their first game. I think it's on Sunday. I think I saw they just posted. So curious to see how that one goes.
What kind of spicy jungle picks?
Well, you know, it's like you don't want to leak the strats on stream, right? But there are definitely some unconventional 80 carries in the jungle.
Gotcha.
All right,
unconventional ADCs in the jungle. I remember Ezreal jungle used to be a thing. That was a
just
time.
Like stuff that's just not supposed to be in the jungle, as they're saying the draft is running. Bear is spewing fake information in the chat. You guys can't see it, but so hopefully
one of them
they get in the right client.
Down.
Oh, are you seeing ticking down?
Yeah. The first link started working. I have both of them open here. The first draft link they sent started working.
All right, let's try this one more time. So we're gonna.
But they missed the first two bands, so I think they need to.
They're just gonna remake another one.
Everything's fine. Everything is fine. There are no problems.
I was told that we are not talking about the Nautilus jungle. Very clear on that.
I can say that I love playing Nautilus jungle. When Nautilus jungle is viable, it's so fun.
Now, it's a little worse at the moment because I know, like when I played Nautilus jungle, I liked the Predator. You know, the gank setup was just so easy, and it's not like you really needed another keystone, as it looks like we are in fact getting a third draft link here. Third time might be the charm. Let's switch this over. Appreciate the chat's patience and cooperation here tonight.
They don't have a choice.
Well, that is true, but like we try to like positively frame it, right? It's kind of like the corporate statement. You know, we appreciate your understanding in this situation, and it's like, what other choice do they have? There are some bands. That's how we see them coming out.
You know, sometimes I wish we had access to some sort of strategic Schmeckel reserve, so that in times of unrest we could, distribute them.
Just a little stimulus to appease the people. What's up, Z4XTTV, also known as Zax? Jungler for the TV Rat Knights this season. Another high alert player coming over to TV. He'll be linking up with Zodiac and company this season.
Dang. Sounds like we got a fun season coming for us. Especially, it seems like financials pretty stacked.
Yeah, a lot of teams. I don't know if you've seen 32 different teams in financial. One thing you'll kind of notice in this off season is org lines kind of not meaning too much, right? You know, you got Bear, owner of High Alert, playing for Team Volatility. Bless Force, owner of Team Volatility, not playing for any org at all. Playing for the Live Wires. And then Zelius, owner of Naughty Boys, I believe he's playing for Broken Household in Executive. So org lines just aren't meaning much at this point. And thank you to X1 Skyline, also known as Voodoo Mama Juju X, the support for Team Volatility, for the subscription 6-month streak. Definitely appreciate it.
Through the summer then too, right?
Yeah.
Sticking with us through the summer winter of recreational esports, where everyone's on vacation, so you can't do anything. That's a real one right there. All right, talk to me. Let's talk about this draft. Both teams so far heavily prioritizing the 80 carry. One side looks like they had 3 sort of different target bans. The other side seemed to go a little bit hard on the junglers.
Yeah, right now the name of the game is 80 carries. You know, if you've been tuned out to League over the past couple months, it's all about 80 carries. You know, champs that can play mid lane, can play bot lane, can maybe go top lane. Ezreal has been super strong.
ADC mid meta, right?
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan. I mean, if we think back to commercial last season, Lord Chieftain from Italy was a bit ahead of his time. You know, playing the Draven mid and the Jhin mid, and people thought he was a madman, but really just a pioneer if you think about it. And we see that so far in this draft. Got the first pick, Ezreal, can kind of fit into whatever Team Volatility wants to do. Caitlyn Braum, a very strong bot lane, picked up for the Gentlemen in response. And it's going to be Rel as the answer into Braum, and we'll see what they're picking up.
Is that Caitlyn mid, and we get something else with the Braum? Huh?
We could, right? You know, it's definitely not off the table. I have seen some first strike Caitlyn mid. I'll hold my confirmation until we see these next couple picks. It's going to be Zyra, probably in the jungle for youngster Joey, long time LBLCS jungler.
I've been seeing that Zyra and Brand are doing pretty popular in the bushland lately.
Yeah, it's all about AP. You know, Lilia, Karthus were super strong at the beginning of the season. I don't know if you've seen the like Demon King Shyvana that's been going on the past couple weeks.
I have not.
It's Shyvana. Some people kind of they cooked up a really nice build. You know, using that, what's it called? Jack of all trades rune that they added this year, and it's
I love the Volibear build with that.
Yeah, it's kind of similar with Shyvana. They go Spear Shojin into Liandry's into like full AP, and
hold up.
You just
we have a Rammus. We have a Rammus on the play. If that is not a misclick, I'm so happy. I love this champion.
It is not a misclick. That is a pick in Seth or Jeffy. Again, we're gonna be doing that several times throughout the stream. Gonna have to get used to their new names. Plays Rammus a lot. I will say I don't know if I love it this early in the draft, right? Because you only kind of have that Ezreal as that kind of AP or AD threat, and you know, kind of hard to stick on an Ezreal. But we'll see kind of what they surround the Rammus with to enable it. Bans coming out here, got a little bit of split on the side of the Gentlemen, banning out a top laner and a mid, whereas we see double mid banned out against Jabe for the Gentlemen.
Yeah, TV seemed to have a really solid plan in terms of what they're going after. They said, okay, we can't play... Aphelios is off the table, and then they eliminated some jungle threats that they saw as most difficult to deal with for their draft. And then second rotation, they said, all right, we're targeting the mid lane. And I think that's really smart. Veigar going to be the pickup here for the side of the Gentlemen. This is a pretty scaling composition so far.
Yeah, you got that kind of early power of the Caitlyn Braum. Of course, during the mid game, Caitlyn kind of takes a little bit of a backseat, and you're hoping maybe Veigar can kind of pick that back up. And then late game, Caitlyn kind of really swings back into things. Yes, Pickle Hater, this is in fact game number 1. The game was supposed to start at 9, we'll say. Pick here for Breadwater, gonna be the Hwei, and looking at I feel like there's a lot of different ways Bear can go here. You know, he's got a pretty big bag up there in the top lane. Could go a tank, could go like a bruiser, you know, could go like a gangplank. Curious to see what the call is to blind here.
Or you just go full AP just to make the Rammus's life sad.
Yeah, that is an option. It looks like they're gonna pick the blind Dr. Mundo.
All right. I don't hate it. I kind of like it. I feel like they've done a pretty good job nullifying a lot of what the Gentlemen have. The Gentlemen kind of need you to come into them a little bit, right? I mean, Rammus can engage, but there's a lot of tools. He's not going to be doing the most because he's not going to be able to build the most armor. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, the Gwen counter, though, into the Dr. Mundo, gonna make life a little tough there for Bear up on the top side. Obviously, Mundo, super strong at the moment, but Gwen, so good at kind of chunking down those, or shredding through, rather, those tanky boys up in the top side. As I will go ahead and get our prediction started here. The people want to gamble. You know, there's you're already ahead of me. Thank you.
That was the clicky clacks you're hearing from my end as I was throwing up the old predict. We gotta get the gambling in. I mean, that's really, we got 63 people here, right? Are they here for League of Legends gameplay, or are they here to gamble schmeckles?
I mean, I would love to say, you know, from the deepest part of my heart that they're here to listen to us talk about League of Legends and whatever else comes our way, but if I'm being honest, I've seen at least 5 people in chat say that they're here to gamble, such as 21 with the subscription, as if on cue, saying, I'm just here to gamble.
Well, and if you're 21, it is perfectly legal. Actually, I don't know if the limit for gambling is 21 or 18. I'm not sure about that.
I think it's 21.
I bet it is as well.
You'd bet?
But all right, if you're putting schmeckles down, what team are you putting on your schmeckles and why? Now that we've seen the full draft, now that we have the full context, you know, who are you picking up as your...
So it's such a cop out to say that it depends, right? I think for the Gentlemen to win, I believe it's Jamo in the top side really is going to have to kind of get ahead of this Dr. Mundo. Because if it's not going to be the Gwen killing Mundo Elite, I don't know who's going to be able to deal with him. Because Vygar, I mean, Mundo can just walk through the cage. And Caitlyn, I mean, realistically not going to be probably not building to kill that tank. So my eyes are top side. And I think game 1, I feel like the ease of execution is on the blue side, and oftentimes, you know, when we're kind of early in the season and we don't know, you know, what's what, I think I might default to that ease of execution. So if I was putting schmeckles down, I would pick on blue side, but I'm immediately going to caveat and say that I'm 0 for 3 to start the season. So take that with a grain of salt.
You've got the Buggle curse.
Yeah, well, Buggle and I are both really bad when it comes to gambling. I mean, I'm sitting pretty on my schmeckle balance at the moment, but I don't want to throw it all away, right?
Mm-hmm. I know. I like to keep a healthy 100K as my reserve,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll bet whatever's above that.
I mean, in case there's ever a collapse, right? You know, you got to have that the emergency fund.
You gotta be liquid. You gotta be liquid.
Diversify the portfolio. Let's take a look at what the chat is up to so far. Early bets in favor of Volatility got 9K put down by Brandon_W7 and 8K put on the Gentlemen by Toku NJT. Decent amount of schmeckles in the pot so far.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid prediction. It's not earth shattering, but you know, 60K going one way or the other. Good way to start out the night. Unfortunately, we don't have the technology to donate schmeckles. So the best way I can tell you to donate your own schmeckles is to just keep watching and keep hitting that green button.
Now if you're
Spam that bad boy.
I know a guy. If you're looking to make schmeckles fast, he goes by the name of Bigfoot, and Bigfoot has a course on how to make schmeckles. I'm gonna summarize it here. I'm gonna summarize as quick as I can. The key is to just all in every time. You know, it's kind of like that thing where you like take a penny and you double it every day. That's basically the same philosophy. And we're not going to talk about if it works. We're just talking, you know, in theory here. This is not financial advice.
Mm-hmm. So you're betting everything you have every single time.
If you're following the Bigfoot line of thinking, that is how to go about it. I'm personally not a disciple of the Bigfoot financial guru literacy course, but it's kind of my duty to just like give people the options, right?
Put it out there. Yeah. You got to let everyone know what's available, even if you don't prescribe to it, right?
Yep.
I think a good buddy of mine prescribes to that one, the Mighty Fool. You may have heard of him.
Yeah, I've heard his name before.
I'm pretty sure he goes all in every time. I'm also pretty sure he is flat broke on Schmeckles.
Yeah, I did hear him on the cast Monday say that he could use a use a donation from the chat, which is just like not a great look as a caster on the show, right?
Caster. Well, the caster, I feel like you also get the added bonus of like you are gonna have the stream on while you're casting.
Yep.
To make sure nothing goes wrong. So you're going to be getting them schmecks passively. You got that passive income up.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've got nothing, then, well, no comment.
Yeah, no comment. I mean, Mighty Fools also just got some problems to work on, right? There was talk of Schmecklegate coming back. He's got to maybe get ready for an upcoming trial. Luffy...
We need another LBLCS trial. It has been far too long since we had some good old community shenanigans.
That's what I was saying. I said the LBLCS courtroom's collecting dust right now,
and we pay so much for it, right?
I mean, courtrooms aren't cheap.
Exists, Stel Bloom. You might be getting Waffle Can tomorrow, depending on what happens.
Yeah, in short, Papoba, when he's got the stream key, he's got the waffle cam. I unfortunately don't have a waffle cam, so I can't provide that to you guys as we are going to load in here, hopefully switch over, and hopefully no technical difficulties here to begin our season.
I think what we should do with the limited amount of funds the low-budget LCS, I think probably doesn't have, because I think we spend it on other things. We should buy every caster a waffle maker. That just sounds like a frugal and efficient use of funds.
Yeah. I mean, this just gets us back to, a debate that we've had as old as time, though, right? I'm a pancake guy, and so it's like, it's kind of...
Oh, you want a griddle? We can get you a griddle.
I could do a griddle.
Yeah, griddle's fine. I actually also have a griddle. If it came to it, I can do pancake time.
It's a whole other market. Playing both sides, that way you can't lose.
Mm-hmm. I can also do the thing that I bought the griddle for, Korean barbecue time. But that's a different beast.
I was getting a little worried there for a second. I thought we were going to have a crash occur because it was showing 0%. But we are in. Welcome in to game number 1 between Team Volatility and the Gentlemen. Let's see what for shenanigans we got coming out here on the level 1. Looks like Volatility might be looking for an invade.
Yeah, very put together here. 5-stack going forward. I'm assuming you would like to shoutcast, or would you like me to?
Yeah, I mean we can play it by ear. I can give it a whirl. It's going to be, the first one of the season, probably going to be a little bit of rust. Hunk Alert coming out from Luffy onto Youngster Joey. Those are two, what's the expression I'm looking for? Two something cut from the same cloth. Those two have the same philosophy in the jungle, which is to play like a madman and hope for the best. Also,
two pots calling each other black.
Yeah, it's like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, but then that insinuates one of them's the father. You guys get the idea.
Apples don't fall far from each other.
True.
We also got Vader used choke hitting us with the caster compliment. I saw something that touched me, and actually it goes to this game. Vader was helping Bear with some cat questions in the pet channel. By the way, go check out the pet channel. There's some very cute cats in there. Vader used chokes included. Actually, Vader, I'm going to hijack your caster compliment and say you have very, very cute cats. They're very good, and they work extremely, extremely hard.
Well, you just are an extension of your animals, kind of, right? Or is it? I guess maybe your pets are an extension of you. Maybe that's the better way to phrase it. So it's really a compliment in the end.
I think when you have dogs, your pets are an extension of you. I think when you have cats, you are an extension of your cats. I think that's how the power hierarchy works there.
Yeah, I'm personally much more in the cat camp, which I know it's a divisive topic for sure.
Hey, I'm cat camp all the way.
Oh, cat camp all the way. There we have it.
I think all good junglers are cat.
True. Camp. This is true. We see the level 2 coming out at about the same time. GCJ nice. Gonna slightly take the worst end of that trade.
Yeah, really clean there from Voodoo Mama Juju, just saving the spells to, buffer for the stun. Very clean, nice little trade. Good fundamentals here in the bot lane.
Yeah, we didn't end up seeing anything really come out from that invade attempt. Maybe they were just kind of stacking. Junglers heading in opposite directions. Youngster Joey heading towards this bot lane where the Rel can certainly all in. And then Rammus trying to head towards this top side, maybe trying to play towards Gemmo on this Gwen like we were talking about.
Yeah, playing towards the Gwen. Although it always sucks to gank a Mundo. I don't know how you feel about it.
I just don't.
But yeah, I mean that's the hard part here, because I think the top matchup is something where you really want to get it rolling. You want Gemmo to be winning, but in order for Gemmo to be winning, Jethy can't do too much about it. I mean, hopefully you can get the Mundo passive off with the Q and then use the taunt to land some CC. But there's a lot of ifs there, and the slow from the Q then won't be there, so it'll be a little bit harder to hit that taunt. Bear might be able to space it. So it will be interesting to see what happens here as the clears are finishing up.
Yeah, one thing you're going to see with this Zyra versus Tank matchup, Zyra was able to finish the full 6 camps at 315, whereas Rammus is just finishing that 6 camp at, about 345. Rammus doesn't have the best clear. Speaking of, they are going to come up here and try to gank onto Bear. Gonna pop the flash. Flash followed through from Jethy, and that's going to be a kill given over. No aftershock going to claim it, but that's going to be first blood over to the Gentlemen.
Okay, but he earned it. He took Flash on Rammus and he used it. Or actually, I don't know. Is Flash the preferred summoner on Rammus these days? I always thought it was Ghost.
I too think it's Ghost. I'm not a big Rammus aficionado, but I think it's Ghost.
I've had a number of Rammus games where I accidentally take Flash and I go, oh shit, because I meant to take Ghost. Yeah. But you know what? That being said, sometimes, like that situation, the Rammus Flash comes in handy. So we take those.
Yeah, good stun there from Voodoo Mama Juju. Not going to amount to too much. With that time, though, we do see, Youngster Joey gets that reset off right away, and they're just on this clear. They're about to hit level 5. Rammus just now getting back out onto the map. These AP junglers are all about tempo, and I do think Youngster Joey is doing exactly kind of what he needs to right now.
Yeah, just clearing and farming down. I feel like Jethy did get that gank in, so that's kind of what you need to do when you're the slightly slower farming jungler. You're going to be impacting the map a little bit more. Rammus obviously has pretty great ganks, level 3, so it's good to see that. I wonder if it will continue going top, if we're going to see a little bit of action bot. It seems like Voodoo Mama Juju is ready to rumble here in the bot lane, though.
Yeah, Voodoo not one to sit back and wait for things to happen. They do suspect that Rammus is here on this bot side. They don't have vision on him yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if with this kind of bot lane prio they have, if TV does go for this early dragon, maybe steer clear of the Gwen for a while, as Youngster Joey will show on some vision here. Don't think we're going to have a gank coming out, though.
Yep. Looks like Youngster Joey is just going to turn over the dragon with the help from Breadwater in the mid lane.
Yeah, it looks
Doubt Rammus is going to counter with the grubs on the other side, so it will likely be just a straight objective benefit for the side of Team Volatility.
As a fellow jungler, and of course there's the cop out of it depends on the game state.
Oh no, it's going.
Which side do you prefer? Which are you Team Dragon or Team Grub? Yeah.
I think it depends. Oh, hang on. We have some action here in the mid lane. Flash going to be used.
Yeah, Huayar going to get popped. Jabe going to have to flash that one out. But nothing further going to come through as Rammus is finishing up the grubs. Meanwhile, flash away from Jolson. Gets the stun off, but no follow-up. And now Voodoo Mama Juju got to be careful. The gate with the Braum slow. Not fun to play into. Gonna be able to walk it out, though.
Yeah. I think, for my money, I do still prefer Dragons slightly more. I feel like grubs are somewhat situational. Like, you have to have a certain amount of winning lanes for the grubs to really be worth it. So if you want to end the game in like 25 minutes, you want the grubs, right? If you're like, I'll win the game in 30 minutes, you want the Drake. And I think that's just kind of how it goes.
Yeah,
but
I think they're very like, it's a conditional win con, right? It's like if you have 6 grubs and you're able to win that big team fight and push down the mid lane, like it's great. But the dragon, it's just like bread and butter. Like you can never go wrong kind of having dragons. I feel like we see Chasey BB saying sacrifice the bloodlines for the grubs. That's some dedication right there.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I do understand it. I love seeing the purple on the towers, and I love getting my little extra minion friends. I think those are particularly enticing. I just have had so many games where I don't feel like I can actually utilize the grubs, or I feel like I gave up a little bit too much for the grubs, whereas I feel like whenever I give up a little bit too much for a dragon, it usually relates to some amount of pressure.
Are we back on stream? It looks like we're back. Yeah. Oh, not sure what happened there. We are back. Not pulling a chance, having to restart the stream 4 times. For those of you that missed it, gank was coming out, and it did not go. Breadwater had a flash.
Yanks. Flash forward. Nice gravity storm. Plant's going to be shot up too. Papa Doge going to be eating forward. It does not look good, but here comes the ball. Might be 1 for 1 as we are going to get a trade back. Now Jethy going to be going forward. Papa Doge, though, good fine. And it turns into just a 1 for 1 with Jethy coming to the rescue.
Yeah, letting this one play out. I think our times got a little desynced there during that pause. What? I'm currently at 9:32, 33, 34, 5, 36, 37. I think you might be a little ahead of me.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
41,
you're at 45.
43, 44, 45.
Gotcha.
You know, for that fight there, you know, you were given the the predictive of what was going to happen in the fight. Ultimately ends up as a 1 for 1. It looks like kills going over to the 80 carries. Not sure if anyone's feeling particularly good or bad about that play.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think if you are the gentleman here, you're feeling pretty swell about that one. It was a solid play coming out from the side of Team Volatility. You were there, you were able to cover it, you turned it into a 1 for 1. And I think that's, about what you can ask for out of that play. It was looking pretty bad for Jolston and Cheesy if Jethy wasn't there. So I think if you're a gentleman, you're feeling pretty good about that. And if you're TV, you're thinking you could have gotten a little bit more.
I like this hover from Voodoo Mama Juju, sensing that Jethy's coming, and Jethy is going to go in with that unstoppable. But Voodoo Mama Juju is here. Does he hit onto the Rammus? Not yet. Waiting. There is the W flash out from the Rammus, and Jabe is getting super low. And now Braum is coming in from the backside. Got ourselves a 3v3 here. The True Shot Barrage almost connecting onto the Vigar. Not quite going to connect, but now Rammus is caught in a tough spot here. No flash. Braum coming in. Double stun comes through from the Rel. This is madness over by the Raptor Pit, and Rel is just kind of caught. Zyre connects, but it is not going to be enough, and that is going to be all play in from the Ezreal. Drops onto the double trap barrier, and it does not matter. Jolston with the double kill.
Jolston setting down the traps in the corner, picking them off one by one. The fight looked one way, the fight looked the other way, but ultimately the gentlemen come out on top. Jolston setting it up big time.
Yeah, the benefit of that completed item was already on that collector, and that proved to kind of be the difference maker in that fight. It was looking back and forth about 3 different times each way. Ultimately, though, we are going to see the objective trade because the jungle is still alive. They're going to get the grubs, and then looks like the gentlemen kind of get this first dragon. So going to be the bit of a handshake, although Breadwater TPing in. They're maybe just going to try and buy some time. But with Youngster Joey still topside, I'm not sure they're looking to contest that one.
Yeah, seems like it is just going to be the handshake trade. A very gentlemanly agreement, if you might.
I see what you did there. Good fear coming through from Breadwater. Does get stuck onto the trap, and just the onslaught. Good block there from Voodoo Mama Juju. It's not going to be enough to save the way, and Jolson coming in. So much CC, so much lockdown, and that's going to bring the kill count to 2-6 in favor of the gentleman.
Massive plays coming out here from the gentleman. We talked at the beginning, all of these teammates, they changed their summoners. They have the same profile image, in League. You get to pick that little circle that comes up in the lobby. And they are proving that synergy on the Rift time and time again this game. Really nice movement from the bot lane to move with Jethy. And just, a couple clean catches. Jabe hits one cage, and it is lights out. There is so much chase down from the side of the Gentlemen here.
I think one thing that is kind of going under the radar, and I think it's probably a good thing for Bear, kind of gave up that first blood, but things haven't really gotten out of control up there in the top lane, Looking at the gold, it's about dead even, and I feel like giving up, dying first blood, they're having to TP back in. Like, that's kind of best case scenario for this Mundo, who, if you haven't seen, scales so incredibly well once they're able to get, that Heart Seal, maybe the Titanic Hydra. So hard to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be a little bit of a. Actually, no, they both have 3 plates on them, so I wonder how that. I guess an assist isn't worth that much, but yeah, even a little bit of a gold lead now from CS here for Bear in the top lane. And then in the jungle, Jethy at the 2-0-3, picking up lots of gold here on this Rammus. Very excited to see how this one plays out as the game goes on.
Yeah, I mean, 14 minutes in, and despite the kill count, I mean, we're pretty much dead even in terms of this gold. You're feeling pretty decent if you're on either side here. I do think, best case scenario, if you're on the Gentlemen, a couple of those kills that are on Rammus are going on to one of your carries, but ultimately you don't really get to control that, as we do see Youngster Joey maybe setting up for this Rift Herald as the cavalry is coming in again onto Breadwater. Doesn't look like he's going to fall for this trap.
Yeah, doesn't throw the ultimate just yet.
But Youngster Joey might be getting caught out here. The full team coming up to this Rift Herald, and he might have just given him a bit of a leash.
Yeah, and just hit the eye as well. That's not going to be fun. Maybe they can steal it, though. That's going to be forward. They're going to go forward. Taunt's going to come through. Youngster Joey going to be the target, but the Herald is going to de-leash. So if they don't get him, this could be really bad. Youngster Joey does eventually fall to the Ignite.
Yeah, that's going to be a kill. They are going to get the Rift Herald, but on the bot side, that is going to be first turret over to this Ezreal and to this Rel, and you get the shove out in both mid and top. So ultimately, I think the gold, you're still kind of about even. True Shot Barrage going a little bit wide. Going to pick up that Rift, and our next objective is dragging about a minute and a half.
Yeah, actually, I think that is about a plus 500 gold swing for the side of Team Volatility overall. They were down about 500 before the start of that play, and now it is dead even at 25-7 apiece. So I think overall they'll absolutely take that first turret for the Herald. And now what we have to see from the Gentlemen is how they choose to use that Herald. Likely, it will be used around this next Drake fight for pressure one way or another. But we're also seeing some rotations here that are signaling maybe they're not going for the Drake.
Really heads up there from Breadwater to kind of put that control ward down preemptively. Did protect themselves there from the impending gank coming in from Jethy in the bot lane. 1v1 in the bot side. I'm not sure if there are any ults going to get popped here. We do see Gemma getting that massive Q, and Bear going to have to heal off of this Warmogs.
Yeah, but Gemma's alone down here. All 4 members of their team are on the top side, and yep.
That's going to be ults traded in the bot side. Gemmo getting slowed down by Bear. Youngster Joey taking a lot of damage, though, from that Gwenar, and ultimately not going to be a kill coming out either way. If TV want to fight this drag, I think Zyra's going to need to find some health somewhere.
Yeah, that was really, really heads up there from Gemmo, not even really looking at the Mundo, because you're not going to be able to get through that whole health bar in time. Just using the slowdown from the needlework to go ahead and prevent Youngster Joey from really putting down any sort of significant DPS. Ooh, GZ though.
GJ going to have to flash away from the Rel Q. That's a big summoner down. Gwen having a reset now as this dragon is coming up. So early advantage to TV. They could look to force this while Vigar top side, Gwen in base. There is going to be a TP, and that's going to be the Rift Herald popped. They're trying to establish this prio mid lane. Rolling on that. That's the new Rammus skin. I don't know what it's called. People are a big fan of it. Dragon down to about 4k HP. Are we going to see a 50-50 here? Massive team fight, and that's going to be a huge ult in. And Rel going in with the Magnet Storm, going to connect onto 2 people. So much chaos on both sides of the fight. Breadwater is called off 1v3. So many low health bars. Jethy having to get out, and Youngster Joey, Voodoo Mama Juju. Everyone is so low, and that's going to be the first kill over to Voodoo Mama Juju. Gets picked off by the Rel, or by the Caitlyn. Double kill, no. Blocked by Mundo. Dragon goes over to the Gentlemen in the end. 1-0.
Yeah, big fight there from the Gentlemen. Low health bars, but ultimately no one really ends up dying. Only Voodoo Mama Juju dies on the side of Team Volatility. Both teams maybe a little bit scared to sort of fully clash head-to-head, but on the back of that, we will have a 1k gold lead here for the side of the Gentlemen, as well as those two dragons. Chemtech Soul not going to be the most impactful, but or actually, has that changed? Because as you know, I've been a little bit keyed out of the league scene for this summer.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's not. It's no longer kind of that like the redheaded stepchild of the souls, but it's still probably kind of the like least beneficial. I mean, there are some members, like Mundo, who I think will benefit from the Chemtech here, but you know, a win con is a win con. You're getting soul. You're never going to complain about having it. You know, it helps you get towards that Elder potentially. And so the Gentleman sitting on that 1 drag advantage, had that little bit of a gold lead. We'll see what the answer from TV is going to be.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see where this goes. It seems like Caitlyn has emerged as sort of the big winner from all of this. Of course, Vigar is pretty happy just sitting in the mid lane and scaling. Well, top lane now, but you know. Same difference here. How do you think you're getting to this Caitlyn? There's a lot of tools on the side of Gentlemen to not only dive in, but also use as potential screens for any attacks. And you don't really have anything resembling an assassin on the side of Team Volatility.
I think it's going to have to be a catch. I think it's going to have to be this Rel getting that big multi-man flash magnet storm, with the Zyra and the Hui over the top. Kind of just hope that putting everything, all the eggs in that one basket. Because like you said, there's no one. It's hard to get through Braum. It's hard to get through the Rammus taunt. Mundo can kind of run at him, but at the same time, I feel like Mundo kind of has to be a bit of a frontliner for their team the way this game's playing out. As the Baron is spawned up, TV keeping some vision on it, just making sure there's no early shenanigans going on there.
Yeah. Just keeping their eye out, being aware. Looks like the Gentlemen are recognizing that they don't have Gwen teleport for a little bit here. Perhaps they're waiting for that to maybe look at making a play for Baron themselves. But Baron hits harder now. I do know that much. Not quite as easy to take early. And I did pull up the Drake stats, if you would like to know them.
Oh, yeah.
While we are sort of in this lull, although it seems like there might be a little bit of a collapse here in the mid lane. Highest win rate Soul, as you might expect, is going to be the Cloud Soul. Actually, I feel like these win rates have gone up since I last looked at them. According to League of Graphs, citing my source, 92.5% win rate for Cloud Soul.
Wow.
I know you're probably winning if you get Soul,
yeah,
but 92.5 is
that seems
a
high.
lot. Yeah. Now, most of the other ones, all of the other ones actually, are going to be in the 80s. Mountain Soul's going to be an 88.6. Then you've got Hextech, actually, sitting at an 88.1, as we do have a little bit of action coming on here in the top lane.
Yeah, Bear gonna get chunked out, having to pop the flash, having to pop the R. Gwen trying to throw these needles.
Gotcha.
TP coming in from the Hui. Is there gonna be an answer? Are they gonna look to turn? Voodoo Mama Juju gonna peel off, and ultimately that's gonna be 2 summoners in exchange for 1. Ghost being popped for that flash and for that TP. And now it looks like they're starting up the Baron, maybe trying to force this Vigar TP to come through.
Yeah, I think they said, hey, we used the resource anyway. We may as well try to throw it out there, but I don't know how well this is going to work. We're going to have to see.
Yeah, they're kind of non-committal. Looks like they're pulling this off, and I'm assuming Vigar, if not going to get that full turret, should. And there it is. Turret's just going to get popped there.
Oh, Voodoo Mama.
Ooh,
He's been aggressive here. Jeezy might be in a little bit of trouble.
He was looking to trade back up here in the top side. Just a little bit of poke. Ultimately not going to amount to too much, as we got about 30 seconds on this next dragon. A little bit of late resets here coming through. A lot of gold kind of for both teams, to be honest, sitting in the inventory. So I'm curious how this fight's going to play out. Early advantage looks like it should go to red side. Got the Caitlyn traps should be getting set up here. You got the threat of the cage, the Braum.
Yeah, multiple members sitting on over 1,200 gold in the bank. Will be interesting to see how this goes. Gwen Gemmo does now have the teleport available.
Oh, they're looking to
Ooh,
collapse on
they're
their
going
way.
deep.
3-man unit. Cage not going to connect, but it doesn't matter. All the damage over the top. Jolston is unstoppable on this.
Shade.
Yeah, the flash having to come through. Gets out of there. Vigar super low. Does have the TP, but that's going to be 35 seconds without your mid laner, and they don't have TP. So this looks like it should just be Dragon going over to the Gentlemen, putting them on soul point.
Yeah, and that pressure is going to be massive. It means next time Drake spawns, they can force Team Volatility to choose between fighting them on Drake, or maybe they can just trade the Baron. They hold all the cards. Jethy going forward.
Jethy going forward, but now a lot of lockdown onto Young Joey. Has to flash away. TP is coming through from Gem onto the backside, and Voodoo Mama, Juju, and Bear trying to frontline for their team. Flash in with the Magic Storm onto Jabe and to Gemma on the backside. Does not matter. The Rel gets popped. Papado's trying to pepper these Qs over the top. Bear is getting chunked out super low. Gonna get taken down there with a double kill onto this Gwen, and that should be the Dragon. Do they look to go? No, it's actually going to get pulled off here. Young Joey trying to be a nuisance, just trying to tempt them. I mean, these are some low health bars. I mean, if Way's able to connect with, that multi-man ult. Oh, True Shot Barrage doing a ton of damage. It's actually going to kill Jabe on the backside. This is super low here. Way. This is prime Way territory. The W does come out. GCJ, they're going to have to run this one off. And all of a sudden, it was looking like it was a sure thing for the Gentlemen. And it's actually going to be drag over to Team Volatility.
Yeah, still going to be a little bit of a mixed bag here, as they are going to lose 2 members. The gold is going to balloon slightly more in the favor of the Gentlemen. However, that pressure that was coming for them, that third Drake taken off, is going to be massive here. It gives them time, it gives them opportunities, and it means they don't have to fully commit next Drake fight one side or the other.
Yeah, quick shout out in the chat. Everyone's favorite low budget LCS admin, Praetorian, with the subscription, 24 months, saying, welcome back, Papoba, and hi, Mr. Less Force, my wonderful jungler. That is right. I'm teaming up with Praetorian this season, looking to hopefully win Group B, making some noise. Appreciate the subscription, and obviously appreciate all the fun admin work.
Mm-hmm. Fun admin work. Yeah, it is fun. We have a silly good time in the secret chats that no one gets to see. Anyway, I was saying about Dragon Soul win rates.
Yep.
So 88.1 is going to be your Hex Tech, which is a solid couple percentages of a percentage point away from the 87.9 for Ocean Soul. Infernal Soul is actually second to last at 87.7. And as predicted, Chemtech Soul is indeed in last place, still sitting at a respectable 87.1. But that's a pretty sizable gap between the rest of the field.
Yeah, I'm personally a big Hex Tech enjoyer, especially if I get something like a Jinx or, one of these heavy, hyperscaling 80 carries. I feel like Hex Tech is just, it's so nice. You got the portals to get you all around the map. I'm personally, pretty partial to that one in particular. A little bit of a lull state. I mean, I feel like I keep mentioning it, but the fact that the gold lead is only about 1,500 despite the kills being 3 to 11, I mean, it's really just, coming down to that the CS, big CS advantage in the bot lane, even with all those kills, is Gemmo going to pop the W. Good immune there. And then just kind of these towers that have been taken, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, really good props to Team Volatility.
Youngster Joey. Pop goes the Weasel, the Zyra, caught in the cage. And that could be a Baron look here. 40 seconds on the jungler, 4v5. And that TP from Breadwater means that tower is just going down bot.
Do we call that a caster curse? I think we might call that a caster curse.
I do think we call it a caster curse. There's really no other way to call it. Mid turret goes down, and it looks like they're going to go over to this Baron. Not sure if there's really an answer from Team Volatility here.
Yeah. Good call. Good money. 3K going to be the gold lead here as well. Don't think this will be contested, so it will likely just be the Baron going over to the side. I wonder what the win rates are in terms of how many Barons you've taken. Like, if you take one Baron, what's your win rate?
I feel like the more Barons you take, and maybe this sounds counterproductive, but like the lower your win rate is, because I feel like just the more Barons that are taken in a game in general, like
Sure.
the game is just so long at that point that one team fight can win the game. I'm not sure what the win rates would say on that. We do see the Baron get taken. We do see minor victory for Team Volatility. They steal the enemy blue buff, but this push down mid lane, someone's gonna have to come answer it.
Yeah. And it is formidable. Gwen, really good champ to have in the side lane here too. So they will be threatening both the mid turret and the top turret here. Can move pretty fluidly between the two of those. Pretty decent synchronicity on the waves as well.
Yeah, if you're TV here, you're not in a spot where you have to fight Soul, right? You know, it's 4K gold lead. Obviously, the advantage right now is on the Gentlemen, but you know, a lost fight here, trying to contest that dragon could be the game. Might be the move to just kind of bide your time here. Just clear waves as Papa Doge. Somebody's got to block that R, and it will be the Zyra. Ace in the hole, not going to connect. But Papa Doge is heading for the hills.
Yeah. Papa Doge. Got to reset after that one.
Bread water.
Oh!
Caught in the cage, and that Vigar damage is insane. Flash gets popped, but it does not matter. That's going to be a 4v5 here, as there is a big fight in the top side, and Gemmo is actually losing this despite the Baron, despite the Gwen. But this dive coming through, Flash, taunt, still going to connect. So much damage. Can he pick up the passive? He does. Bear is going to be able to survive this one out, but now Voodoo Mama Juju caught in this cage. Flash into the outside of it, and that's going to be another kill over to this Vigar. 4-1-7 for Jabe here, and this push is continuing topside.
I think Jabe might be online. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm also going to give you a stack check here. We are at 289 ability power here for Jabe. 29 minutes into the game. That's bonus ability power. Total ability power, we are currently sitting at 951.
Yeah, this Vigar is a problem. And when you're kind of at this stage of the game where the cage is probably like a 5-6 second cooldown, like it can't be long. You gotta be really careful if you're these squishy members. You know, you really, even if you're not the squishy member. I mean, we saw the Rel just get popped like it was nothing. And this is gonna be the dragon getting started up. It looks like they're gonna try and contest. Maybe they're feeling a little bit of the pressure here. They're walking up. There is no Gwen. It's at about 9,000, but someone's gonna have to go deal with the Gwen because they're gonna take those towers fast.
Yeah. Dragon's HP is just dropping too quick, but there is a burn on it from the plant, so there's always a chance. Always a chance. Yeah, Gwen gonna have to make a little bit of an escape here now, though.
Flash in from Papa Doge, trying to connect on these Qs to slow him down, and Gemmo is looking like they're gonna get caught here. They are gonna pop the ghost, but I don't think it's gonna matter. Big shutdown over to the Dr. Mundo, and that's. You take those victories at this spot in the game if you are a Team Volatility.
Yeah, it's a good chunk of gold, a good injection. Helps you stall things out, helps you get the items that you need, especially good going onto the window.
Oh, Bear is TPing behind. They're trying to take advantage here. 5v4. This is what Voodoo Mama Juju's looking for. He's looking for the mag storm. He is only going to connect onto one, though. But Jolson is locked down in the back lane. Does get hit with the exhaust, and Rel is going to get popped, but so is Jolson, so is GZJ, and so is the rest of the Gentlemen. Jethy having to go over the top with the unstoppable. Papa Doge trying to go over the top. Oh, and he's going to have to flash away. Looks like the fight may be coming to an end. Bear's going to chase down this Vigar. Does have a shutdown. 300 gold if they can connect onto him. And I don't think there's anywhere for him to run at this point. We'll see if Mundo gets the kill or if it's going to be the Zyra. They're just going to hand it over to Mundo. And that is the fight that these guys needed. Oh, we might not be done. Jethy stuck around for the Gromp.
Oh, no.
Gonna get it.
The Gromp gold trap. Well, maybe not.
Caught between a rock and a hard place here. Gonna dodge that out.
Choices.
Yeah, and it looks like this kill is gonna ultimately go over. And this Mundo just got so accelerated. Picked up the kill on the Gwen. Picked up the shutdown on the Vigar. Now they kill the Rammus, and they're sitting on 3,000 gold right now.
Yeah, that's gonna be absolutely massive to get in the pocket, and it is really giving Team Volatility a window back into a game that looked pretty open and shut for a bit.
Yeah, this is that thing with Mundo, right? You know, the early game, it sucks, right? You don't really do a whole lot, but once you start getting these items, you get the heart steal, you get all this HP. We do see he's going into that Titanic Hydra. Mundo is such a late game menace, and I don't know, other than the Gwen, it's going to be really tough to kind of chew through this guy, unless Vigar is able to kind of lock him in the box when he doesn't have the passive. It's going to be tough looks. Baron coming up in about 25 seconds, and both teams have that on their radar.
Yeah, pressure now also mounting with the Drakes. Third Drake was picked up last time. That doesn't spawn for another 2 minutes, but that will be another window where the Gentlemen can look to flex the resources they've gotten thus far. Good. Really, really good here for Team Val. Ooh, uh-oh. Gonna be okay. To get that scuttle, get that revealing blossom sent out through the top jungle. Let me look at the itemization here. Rel's still only really sitting on one completed item here. Only 600 gold in the pocket, so likely not too much more going to happen from there. Then you've got Ezreal sitting pretty. 1,500 gold currently in Zyra's pocket as well. I'd expect that to be spent soon. So yeah, give it while we have some downtime. A little Vigar stack check. We're sitting at 328 phenomenal evil power. That is giving us a total of 983 ability power.
Yeah, we're finding ourselves in kind of this bit of a lull. Maybe the Gentlemen just like a little, I don't want to say scared, but that they were in such a comfortable spot in the game, and then that one play kind of goes awry, and all of a sudden they're thinking like, hey, like maybe we're not as ahead as we thought we were. You got this dragon coming up in 50 seconds. Could we see the Gentlemen give it up and go for this Baron? Could we see them go for the Soul and Team Volatility go for the Baron? Jethy's fishing here. Not going to connect, though.
Yeah, we are going to see the fighting in the side lane again. Gwen versus Mundo. Looks like Gemmo's doing pretty good with it, though.
Yeah, Bear and Gemmo going bang for bang. Oh, on the other side, though, double
Jethy.
flash out, having to come through, and youngster Joey gets popped, and Bear going to get cut down by the Gwen. That's going to be Baron, and maybe the game, if they don't reset quick enough here on the bot side. Gwen is pushing up on that inhibitor.
Yeah, Inhib is going to fall at this point. Gwen does too much damage to the side. So do a little disconnect, reconnect. Don't think anything's going to... Oh!
Yeah, a little bit of a disconnect. We're going to wait for the
pause action.
Looks like we're going to get the pause. Probably going to get the signature post-pause. And Baron goes over. Now, the question is, do they have a way to contest this soul? You're down about 6,000 gold. We did mention it is the Chemtech, so of the 6, you're not feeling terrible if you give over Chemtech soul. But, and there's the post-pause we were looking for.
There it is.
You still got 15 seconds on your Zyra. I don't know if there's a play here for Team Volatility.
Yeah, it is going to be tough. Dragon spawned already. And they'd have to buy a lot of time for the Zyra to get here, and I just don't know if they have the tools to do that. However, we've seen them make some good plays for some really tough places. If they can find a pick, again, if they can delay it, but... But that's okay. That only means that the Gentlemen have an 87% chance of winning. There's still
true.
13% chance, and that's better than having to roll a d20, right? You could roll a 19, a 20, or sometimes an 18.
If you really think about it, TV still has a 50-50 chance of winning. Although youngster Joey having to flash away from the Rammus. Jolson kind of getting chunked out of here. Has to flash out. And Voodoo Mama Juju likely looking here for the flank. A lot of poke come through over the top. Jabe is going to have to flash away. And both the carries are so low. Flashing for Papa Doge. Going to pick off this Vigar. And that is, look, they need a Magnus Storm coming through. Only going to connect onto the Braum. But that should be a kill over on top of it. Flash over from Voodoo Mama Juju. Going to only hit on the Rammus. But Braum is down. Double kill over to Ezreal. And I don't think they're going to be able to catch these two carries. But it is 5v3 on the map. This might be do or die. They got to get something done here.
These are long death timers. If they can push it, They can do some serious damage to the base. They cannot end, but they have just found themselves in yet another a good angle to get back into this game, and that seemed like it was just off the back of mechanics, dodging the skill shots that were thrown at them, hitting the skill shots that they were throwing, but doesn't look like Jethy wants to let this one go.
No, it doesn't look they're able to get a ton of push there, but they're able to deny the continued push from the Gentlemen. Just massive play there from Papa Doge, trying to will them to that 13% win percentage that they have going for them at the moment. Super well played there from the Ezreal. Rel on the backside was able to connect, and they're able to pick off the Braum as well. Things are not, they're down, but they're not out. And that's all you really need is to just have a chance.
All right, I'm going to give you a really confusing statistic, okay?
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
Yep.
If you have a Chemtech and a Wind Dragon, you technically have a 54.5% chance of winning.
What's the sample size on that one?
I don't know. It's not telling me. But that means that, so one side's got an 87, one side's got a 54. So it seems like there's going to be a good chunk of possibilities here where both teams get to win. And I think that's just delightful.
Yeah,
I don't know when that was added to the game.
Doesn't quite add up to 100, I think. This push coming through on this top side. Breadwater has to answer this bot wave. Jabe gets that cage onto Zyra, and they are going to be one dead plant. Push coming through. Voodoo Mama Juju is fishing. They don't have the flash, but they are looking here. Gwen is pushing on the top side. Someone's going to have to go and answer that. These towers are getting low. The base is, it's not in shambles, but it's starting to crumble a bit.
Yeah, there's just so much pressure here from the Gentlemen, and however much Team Volatility are biting back what they can when they can. It's very, very tough. That tower falls from the slightest tickle here.
Yeah, cage not going to connect, but that... No, I mean, they're doing a good job of holding this here. Voodoo Mama Juju gets the connect onto the Vigar, and that's going to be the Zyra over the top. So much pop, and that's going to be the Zyra's coming up out. Hui hits the art onto the Rammus, but Vigar goes down. Breadwater stuck in the cage. They're going to try and run down these members here, but watch Gemma on the backside. Jolson's going to get caught, and that's going to be 2 members down. There's no super minions mid. Can they look to push out this wave? It is going to be 3 members. The Braum, the Rammus, and the Gwen. Gwen has to teleport, though. They could look to maybe try and end with a TP through bot as this push continues on the top side. Rel Q not going to connect. And they are going to get this objective bounty on the mid turret. Gwen holding this line in the mid lane. And Breadwater has the TP. Do they look to link up here? Tower going to go down here as well. Gwen, there is the TP, and they're going all in onto Gemmo here. Gets chunked out on the spot, and look at that health coming through. This huge shutdown over to Gemmo with that massive connect. And Youngster Joey's low as well. Breadwater has to flash out as well. Voodoo Mama Juju, Gwen just snipping through them one by one. And Gemmo, when the game was looking grim, might have just saved this game back for the Gentlemen.
All my brain is saying is that's a 1v9 angle. Holy cow. Gemmo puts on a performance and slices through the enemy team, and they're not done. They're going to look to end it the other direction.
That's going to be a double TP coming through. Minhib going down. Zyra getting the reset off, but Bear is getting chunked out by this Gwen, by this Vigar. Getting low, and that's actually going to be a catch with the Zyra root. Going to shut down this Gwen. And now we're looking at 25 seconds on Baron, 55 on the Gwen. And now Team Volatility are somehow the ones that are in the spot to go for this Baron. But the Gentlemen, they are not looking for Baron. They are looking to end this game. Root, or the stun not going to connect onto the Mundo. So much damage coming through. Oh, can't deal with them. Rel looking. They have the flash coming up. They don't quite have it yet. Elders in 35. We are going to likely be seeing a coin flip here at the Elder. No TPs, but someone's got to deal with that bot wave.
Yeah, here's the thing. Gwen's not up pretty much until Elder spawns. So Team Volatility, the next 19 seconds, however they decide to play it, is going to pretty much decide how the rest of this game is going to go. It looks like they're opting for the Baron take.
They're going for the Baron. There's vision on it. Rammus is rolling over 4K, 3K, and it's going to go over to Team Volatility. Elder is up, though. Neither team's really in position for it. and we're going to have to see how this one's played out. I mean, you got to be careful of that bot wave. Got to be careful here. Is Rel going to get caught up by the cage, and Rel flashes in, does not get the Mag Storm, actually does get the Q onto the Vygar, and the backside of Vygar. Ram is getting super low, but Bear is running amok on this back line, cannot die. Kill goes over onto the Vygar, and this Quay doing so much damage on the backside. Gwen-R, I don't think it's been popped just yet. Gwen is here, 4v4. Support for mid. You have to favor Team Volatility here, but look at that bot wave. Someone has to go answer that. Smite going over, but that means that there's no smite for this Elder. I mean, if the Gentlemen want to force this, they know there was a smite on Baron, they know there was a smite on that Scuttle, but they don't feel like they quite have that force just yet. We see Papados trying to clear out that bot wave as best they can. The poke coming through from Breadwater, the Q's coming through from Bear. Not able to connect on that one, but Alter coming back, and it looks like we're just going to have a big old dance at the Elder buff.
Yeah, not wanting to be decisive. I would have liked to see the Gentlemen use their advantage, but I think they want something pretty guaranteed. They're sending Gemmo back to that side lane, back to getting that other lane pushed in. So they really want to pull some resources before they decide they're going to go and take this objective. But, actually Team Volatility kind of have an angle to do this.
Yeah, right now the carries are nowhere nearby. It is just the Rammus. They're trying to force us down. Reset there kind of hurts a little bit. Voodoo Mama Juju trying to keep them out. We see Mundo covering top, trying to shove out that wave, and they're going to look to TP. There's no teleports on the side of the Gentlemen. Team Volatility have to back this out without their Mundo, and Gwen is actually going to shove out this midway, which is going to be answered by Dr. Mundo. Good poke coming through onto GZJ, has to flash this one out. Meanwhile, we have a 1v1 in the mid lane. Ult being popped for ult. Gwen trying to shred through this Mundo. If you're able to get this, you might just win the whole game, and she is going to pick up that Mundo. Shut down onto Gemmo, and that's going to mean it needs to be a reset coming through from Team Volatility, which means the Elder should go over to the Gentlemen.
Yeah, unless we see a crazy play come out here from youngster Joey, which I will point out
has the flash. He's looking for it.
It's available.
It goes in too early. 3,000 on the buff. Voodoo Momoju trying to go in over the top. It looks like it's going to be a 50-50. But the kill comes through from Jolston, and that's going to be Elder secured. 2 members down from TV, and that might just be the game. 5v3. 5v2 at this point, 30 seconds on Bear. You just have the Way, you just have the Ezreal, and you have that big wave coming through mid and bot. Is this going to be the end of the game?
We'll have to see. We have seen Team Volatility bite back in similarly desperate situations. The timers have gotten longer, and that Elder buff is certainly nothing to sneeze at.
No,
they're going to be sneezing here.
Teleport coming through. Cage going to catch Breadwater, and Breadwater's just dead. Mundo is up. Papa Doe trying to do what they can, but that's going to be both the towers down, and they are just forcing this end.
Stays alive.
And that is game number 1 over to the Gentlemen.
The Gentlemen, I tip my hats to you. I had no doubts. Draft be damned. There were some haters in the chat. Listen, I'm just going to say it. Some people were saying, their draft wasn't good. Blue side was going to win, but you stick with the Gentlemen, you'll see where it leads you.
Look at that damage coming through from Gemmo on that Gwen, doing 81,000 damage. Now, granted, a lot of that was a bit of a stat pad from on the Dr. Mundo, but still a ton of damage coming through overall, and that's going to be game number 1 over to the Gentlemen, who I think were the odds underdog, if I'm not mistaken. Someone's making some schmeckles here. Oh, it was 50-50.
Schmeckle odds?
It was 51-49, yeah.
They were a little bit under. But yeah.
NX Angel saying my Jameckles. I love the commitment to the bit.
Great game. I also really like looking at this gold graph. You can see just how tenacious Team Volatility was. You can see, the Gentlemen do a great job. They end up with a 6k gold lead at around 30 minutes, and then a bite gets taken out. And then they only have a 2k gold lead. That's a 4k gold swing, for the side of Team Volatility. Then they do the same thing a few minutes later with about a 2k gold swing. And they do it again later, reducing their lead to only 1,500 gold at 44 minutes. ultimately, I think it was that dragon pressure, going back to our conversation about neutral objectives earlier in the game, that did them in. But really great game from both teams. I'm excited to see what they have for us prepped here for game 2.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to TV. I think that game was looking pretty doomed for a while, and they were able to hold on for such a long time. And we saw some insane mechanics coming out from Papa Doge. We saw Bear picking up every shutdown in the game, and it almost looked like when they got that Baron that the game was kind of in their favor. But ultimately, that pick onto, I think it was Bear, ultimately led to that numbers disadvantage, and that's all it took. So we're waiting to get into this game number 2 lobby. We'll see if TV decides to switch up sides here, but I'm excited if this goes to 3 games.
Yeah, it absolutely banger game 1. I could definitely see it going either way for game 2. I don't think either side was significantly outmatched. I think the teamwork and cohesion on the side of the Gentlemen was just a cut above. Just a great example of how to move across the map, how to coordinate, and yeah, I'm just very excited to see what comes out for this next game. Oh, something I wanted to talk to you about earlier, Les Force. You were saying AP junglers are the flavor of the month. I happen to enjoy a particular jungler who isn't normally, but maybe can be played AP, and I've been noticing that his win rate has risen of late, sitting at a crisp 51%. That would be one Nunu and Willem. Can you give me your hot breakdown on how Nunu's doing in the jungle these days?
I don't have any thoughts on Nunu. I think this just Nunu, I feel like, just doesn't play League of Legends. Like, it's just like I don't know. It's just you're kind of coin flipping those first 5-10 minutes. You're gonna go for those ganks with the snowball, and if they don't work out, you don't have much of a plan B, right? I have seen some full AP Nunu kind of be the flavor of the week. I will say Nunu's a very unconventional pick. It's not something you see a ton, especially kind of in like this financial league, which we won't say. I mean, some people will hate if we call it high elo, but this is kind of on our upper echelon of the leagues we offer. I actually think Sethi might play a little bit of Nunu. I mean, we saw the Rammus, so likes the goofy picks for sure. We'll have to see. Maybe they pull out the Nunu. I'll stick to my my Lilia, my Diana, the more traditional AP junglers.
You just hate Yetis. You can say it.
That is true. Like, I don't know. Well, I guess they're technically not Yetis, but the I don't know if you remember on Star Wars Battlefront 2, the good one back in the day. There was the it was the Wampas versus the versus the little guys. I'm blanking on their name, but I always played as the little guys and took out the Wampas, and they're basically Yetis. So maybe we're uncovering something about myself here. Banana Man, the score is 1-0 the Gentlemen. We are waiting to get into the game number 2 lobby. Praetorian, I don't disagree. I think the new Battlefront was okay. But it was just like, all multiplayer, right? Like, when I think of what I enjoyed from Battlefront, it was for sure the Galactic Conquest, and unfortunately, the new era Battlefronts just didn't quite hit that mark.
Yeah, games. I listen. We talked about being old heads earlier. I'm gonna be an old head here for a second. Games just need to be simpler. I don't need a launcher for every game. Okay, I don't need 12 integrations for different IPs or anything. I don't need all that customization. I just need a good game and not too much fluff.
Yeah, I mean, it's, in this era of kind of, and this is a good topic while we're kind of waiting for this new lobby to start up. Kind of like this live service, like 5 years ago, right? It was all about battle royales, right? Like every game that was coming out was like a battle royale, and they were all trying to do the same thing, and the market got so oversaturated that none of them were particularly, they didn't have any sticking power. And now we're kind of in that same spot where it's all about these, like, I don't know, team shooters, I think I would call them. You know, kind of like, you know, Overwatch did it way back, and I say way back because it was like 2016. And then I think hopefully they got you in here too. I think you got what, like Concord, you've got the Marvel Rivals, you got the Finals, which already shut down. You've got probably another half dozen the chat can remind me of. And it's just too much, you know. We need a little bit of creativity, and we are in lobby. And to answer your question, Vega, my favorite game of all time is Persona 5 Royal. Greatest game of all time, in my opinion.
Interesting. Man, I have no idea what I'd say for greatest game of all time. That's oof. That is a rough one. There's so many good games.
So many good games, only so much time to play. And the worst part is that we spend so much time, or at least I do, right? You know, I've got so many games that I want to get to, and then I sink the most time into League of Legends, right? It's just like those games just never gonna get played.
I think here's what oh, Evdinkas, what have you done? Good lord. Here's what I think you do, okay? It's all about reframing the problem. Instead of saying, you know, I've sunk so many hours into League of Legends, what am I doing? You say, actually, each League of Legends patch is a new game. Because, you know, they changed things. The code's not identical anymore. And so actually, you've played like, you know, a couple hundred games, just very similar ones.
Yeah. That's definitely some like positive framing for sure. No, I mean, like we love League, right? But it just comes down to as F Dingus has invited me to a game of solo duo during the I think I might have to.
He knows you're here too. He knows.
Yo, no, for sure. I mean, typically, like I expect that from Luffy, right? Like that's a big Luffy move to send an ARAM invite to whoever's on the stream. But from Ev Dingus, and it wasn't from his main; it was from his famous alt account. That's a deep cut right there. We do see a side swap here. TV deciding to go for that red side. Curious to see if they're looking to set up counter pick for their mid. Set up counter pick for Bear. I think we saw Mundo, you know, kind of do really, really well there. So I'm curious if they get him off of something like that. What changes do you think they're going to come out here?
I am not entirely sure. Almost saw a Rammus ban. That certainly would have been a change, but it was the Jentlemen who were hovering it, so not entirely sure about that one. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Oh no, Team Volatility did ban, so these are the same bans so far.
Yeah, so far we got the same stuff rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Ezreal, though, that's also a new ban.
Hang on. Sorry, gotta drop everything for the most based opinion in the chat. Jordan Hoodie hitting us with the, if you could remove any champ out of the game, what would you choose, and saying Shaco. That's just the correct answer. Okay? I'm sorry if anyone out there is a Shaco player, but I'm not actually sorry. Team Volatility also will be banning the Caitlyn this time, so them calling that out as the issue. No, Shaco's worse than Yuumi. I'll fight every single one of you on that. Shaco is so much worse than Yuumi.
Like, Yuumi does what it was intended to do, right? Personally, I understand the hate for Shaco, as we are going to see the B1 Nautilus. We're going to see new AD carry picks this game, as both AD carries are banned. My personal choice is Scion, and it's a bit of a sleeper choice, but just the whole boss strategy of like just the inting, and like you do so much damage to the towers, like in your passive, like you're not really playing League at that point. You're kind of playing like a whole different game. So for me, that's like my sleeper choice. I mean, I don't love Shaco, but how often you run into Shaco?
Too often. Here's my thing with Shaco, right? If Shaco's on the enemy team, your team is having a mental breakdown, right?
Yep.
Because they're like, I just showed up in my lane and killed me. And it's like, yeah, that's Shaco, right? If the Shaco's on your team, they might get a lot of kills. In fact, I will say most Shacos will. But then, strategically, they will contribute nothing. So my view is wherever the Shaco is, I'm not happy about it. Because either I'm having to, hold my team's mental health together with glue and string.
It's already so fragile as it is.
Mm-hmm. Or I'm having to make up for the fact that my 11-1 Shaco who took all the kills is off futzing around on the top side of the map when Dragon's up, That's just the way it goes.
Those camps aren't going to clear themselves, though. To answer chat, the Gentlemen won game number 1. As we're heading into game 2 here, we are swapping sides. Plead the Fifth, a known Shaco player, feeling the wrath in chat.
Listen, Plead, you can DM me. Feel free. I just think you should stop playing that champion forever. And listen, okay, I'm a new player, right? Maybe not right now, but certainly in my past, you could have called me a new main. So I understand there may be some people who feel similarly about my particular champion pool. So I get it. But yeah, remove Shaco, please. Thank you.
We see the Syndra picked up on 3, so that was banned out last time. Breadwater kind of calling like, hey, pick me the Syndra and get that Vygar the hell out of here. You want to set up, kind of your strong players for success. And for those of you that were around back in season 11, you probably remember Breadwater as the guy who started with I think it was a 72 KDA. The first 3.5 weeks did not die a single game. Absolute monster on these control mage picks. Kind of got shut down last game. A lot of pressure from Jeffy, from GZJ. I mean, we even saw Jolson gank at one point. So this time they're getting Breadwater on their Syndra, and they're looking to kind of enable their mid laner here. Pretty standard stuff from the Gentlemen. Ash not,
Nah, hear me out.
Go
That
ahead.
is not Nautilus bot lane. That is Nautilus jungle. And that brand is either support mid or top.
That is certainly a prediction.
Actually, wait. Let me cook even harder. That is Ash mid, brand APC. They're going to hit you with the Nami support, okay? I don't know if you've ever played it.
No, brand Nami, yeah.
Brand?
It's
Nami
good.
brand?
Now, I do fear that if that is happening, we're going to have a talk about maybe your the outside influence you have on the Gentleman, right? Because that is such... It's almost so out of left field that it couldn't happen any other way if you weren't influencing it, right?
Oh, interesting. So you're saying that I may be changing the outcome by speaking that into existence.
I feel like you just might be telling them, hey, you need to pick this ABC. Jarvan gonna get picked up, so that does mean that the all purple comp has come to an end.
Hey, Darkstar Jarvan is a skin. Okay?
That is true. It's not a splash, but they could go Darkstar Jarvan. I do like that skin. It's not my favorite, but
What's your favorite?
the Worlds, is it 2020 Worlds Jarvan? The very white colored skin.
I see you.
I do like Darkstar though. It's probably if I didn't get the World skin from a chest, I'd probably go with that. Ace Soul gonna be picked up, so a lot of AP on the map so far. We'll see what the blind pick top is gonna be. You have a lot of carries, you don't have a lot of front line to kind of set them up. So maybe Gemmo on something a little bit more tank duty, perhaps. Gonna be the set. And we'll see what Bears got cooked up.
Honestly, I mean, every member of the Gentlemen was a big reason why they won that last game, but Gemmo's ability to side lane and to win in the side lane was critical.
Yeah, I mean, we got the first blood. Bear was able to hold on for a while, but then just that late game Gwen was a problem. Bear hovering the Aatrox. Going to be locked in. Have to imagine that's a good matchup for Aatrox. Bear taking advantage of the counter pick. This has been something that's been added to the pool recently. I wouldn't traditionally think of Bear as an Aatrox player, but certainly has kind of elevated his game in recent months, and a lot more early game focus. I feel like coming out from Team Volatility.
Yeah. Now, a poignant question from a first-time chatter. Thank you so much for stopping by. Who do you think's gonna win? Where are your speckles going? Because I'm gonna start the prediction here, so you can bet should you wish.
Yeah, maybe I get in on this action because I didn't get in on game number 1, as it does look like getting a quick bathroom break and then they'll be ready. I like a lot of the tools Team Volatility has. I think there's a lot of scaling that needs to happen. I mean, Asol, not that strong early. Brand can clear quickly, but still not the best skirmisher, whereas you have Aatrox, Jarvan, Syndra. I think there's a lot of grub prio there. I think Taric should be able to kind of neutralize a lot of what GZJ wants to do on this Nautilus. Maybe give Kaisa that opportunity to scale into that mid to late game. And I want us to go to 3 games. So I think I'm, gonna put my money on TV here. And if I'm wrong, well, there's also the caveat that I should bet based on the odds, right? As a smart gambler, you bet where the odds are.
Oh yeah, that's if you want. We had the Bigfoot school of betting, right?
Yep.
Now you're coming to Popoba's school of betting, right? Here's what you're gonna do. You wait until the last second of the bet, and you drop as many schmeckles as you can without making the odds unfavorable to you, because we wouldn't want to risk a schmeckle and not get a whole schmeckle for risking that schmeckle, right? And then you make it even, right? That is how you bet. That is how you earn the schmecks.
It's certainly not the worst approach. Let's see. We are loading into the game here. We see putting it all on blue and hope and pray. That's the Bigfoot school of thought. And Bear. Well, okay. Have you seen the new Aatrox skin?
I have not.
Oh, you're in for a treat then. I'm a big fan. Of course, I'm a bit of an Aatrox fan in general. I played it back in the All-Star game in the jungle. This new skin's pretty baller, so that might also influence my vote here. Looks like we're about 50-50 right now.
Yeah, clean distribution across the board. Just a couple hundred smecks differentiating the two this time. I think that does speak to Team Volatility's perhaps popularity, as they did lose game 1. Traditionally, I feel like you see a huge spike betting on the game 1 winners, but it actually trends continue. Team Volatility are going to be up in the betting here, 25k to 21, with the tally still marching up.
Zach M with another good point, saying I bet on the wrong team, and if history proves to be worth anything, I feel like just based on saying that the cosmic stars are aligned for Zach M to get paid out here on an incorrect prediction. I'm going in on Team Volatility. That locks it in. Let me dabble here. We'll do 11,117.
Is there a reason for that number? Why the 7? Why not make it 11,111?
That's exactly why. I just have to, because that's what everyone's expecting, right? 5 1s. Maybe it's a subconscious ode to Master Chief. 117.
I see. No. You went 5 head and you didn't even know it. You did 4 1s and a 7, because what does that add up to?
11. That's yeah. I'm a little disappointed it took that long for me to do the mental math there.
Big brain.
Well, after that counting, maybe not so much. Yeah, team. I'm loving chat kind of buying into this whole the J theme we got going on tonight. I saw Just Force and Japoba. I saw Jar Wars, and now we got Team Volatility.
Volatility. I don't know why I have trouble with the word volatility. Throwback to when was Team Volatility's first time in the LBLCS? Because I'm pretty sure my first time casting them was when I said Validity.
Season 7 was our debut, Been around quite a while at this point. What was that? That was like January. Well, it was like early 2022. I remember.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I joined summer of 2021 myself, so I would have just gotten into casting and all that. But yeah, it looks like we are going to end up with the Gentlemen being slightly favored, 43,000 to 37K, unless someone follows the Popoba school of betting and swoops in to even it out here. It's a pretty solid amount of schmeckles. We do actually see Team Volatility now skyrocketing into the lead. Wonder perhaps if that was, well, you are still the bet leader. Vega on the other side. How do you feel about being on the other side of the bet as Vega?
Well, Vega's a really smart guy, right? So, like, just based on that, probably not great. You know, it just hurts when members of the booth are clashing like this. But ultimately, you know, one of us is coming out on top, and for that, I can't be upset. Let's see. Oh, Vega's saying "huh" in chat. Not sure. Oh, well, he was going after your school of thought to just bet the under.
Oh, I see. There you
So,
go. Bless.
let's see. Good analysis from Def B saying, "Purple Gang doesn't forgive or forget. Gents take it."
Truly. Yeah, I mean, honestly, my money is on the Gents. The amount of synergy these fellows just seem to have simply explodes off the page, right? I think their movement is incredibly clean. I think their movements are incredibly thought out. I think they back each other up. I think we did see in game ones a few times the squad overstepped, right? But they always committed if someone was like intentionally diving in hard, not like getting picked off, but like there was a Rammus play I saw where Jeffy, you know, kind of ran in there, but the team said, you know what, all right, we're doing it, and you know what, they did win that fight. So I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I mean, these guys have played together a long time. I believe they played before, or as a unit, before Season 10 in commercial. And that was, again, like we were talking about a year and a half ago. This time's really, it's really flying by. As we are loading into game, I was good about getting the side swap there, so chat couldn't yell at me for that one. And we are loading in here, taking a look at the skin game. Got the Primordian Aatrox. We got Nightbringer. All right, so as a Jarvan player, I need your thoughts on youngster Joey's summoner or keystone choice here.
Okay. So you're not swapping out the smite, so you're swapping out Flash? I don't think that's good.
So
my favorite thing to do on Jarvan, and I can say this because I'm not playing this season, and by the time I do play, all of you will forget this.
Take notes.
First gank, EQ Flash. Just every single time. It works every single time. All the way up at that executive level, that EQ Flash hits, people don't expect it, they get knocked up when they don't think they were going to, and you get an early kill. It is so useful.
It definitely is. We see the stack coming out from the Gentlemen. Do Team Volatility fall into the trap? 5v5. You got the Taric stun, but I'm not sure you got too much follow-up after that. Looking like no one's willing to make the first move. Well, I'll finish my Jarvan analysis. It looks like we're pulling out here. So youngster Joey's philosophy, I think it comes down to like something along the effects of like if he doesn't have like 3 people that he can reliably keep Conqueror procced on throughout the fight, he likes the utility. He basically feels like Conqueror's a useless sum at that point. And so his logic is, I'm going to go Unsealed Spellbook, and I'm just going to make plays. So he will get off that smite, switch to Ignite Exhaust and go for a gank. Or he'll go for like the teleport. There's one play from Season 11 I distinctly remember where his team took Baron, he took teleported into the Dragon Pit, and then stole the Drake. As we're going to see the quick 1v1 here, GZJ not going to go for the hook. Ooh, E not going to connect from Voodoo Mama Juju, and now Gonna have to back this one off.
Yep. Just going to creep away. And similar kind of champion here for Jabe in the mid lane. Another very, very scaling pick. Okay, LeChance. Alright. Listen. No one's going to see that. That message is going to get deleted from all time because people are going to chat over it. And that's fine. It will be lost. It will be lost to the sands of time. And by the time I make my debut again, I'm going to get another EQ flash kill. You mark my words. It's going to happen.
For those of you that don't see, it was a pinned message in the community chat, which has
is it pinned now?
Oh, it is pinned. So I don't know if there's any forgetting.
Oh, great!
There's a lot of good messages that are posted in there. I think a personal favorite of mine is the message where Trad said that he was in a playoff series and his dad told him how long does one game take. I think that was a personal favorite of mine. We saw Youngster Joey go for a invade onto the blue buff, but Brand's actually just kind of clearing top to bot, and now Youngster Joey looking to do it again. And they do see him. GZJ starting to walk up here. Not sure if there's going to be a play onto this Nautilus. Youngster Joey going to pepper him with an auto, and that's about it. Now Voodoo Mama Juju maybe caught out. Gets hit up by the Q. E comes through, not going to connect. That's just a lot of damage. Now Jolston going to pepper in these autos. Ash is such a nuisance in that early game, just kind of with that slow. Overall, that's a one play there for Jethy and the rest of the gentlemen.
Yeah, looking good here. Pretty even early on. I'm expecting to see something explosive out of Youngster Joey here on the Jarvan.
Yeah, very, very different style of champ than the Zyra we saw last game. I think this is more kind of Youngster Joey's pace of game. Likes to make plays on the map. Likes to try and get in your face. As we do see Bear going for a bit of an aggressive trade. Gets hit up by the E and the Haymaker, and Youngster Joey is now looking onto the Nautilus. Does hit the EQ, but the buffer with the Nautilus Q does get him out. Does have to flash, but ultimately you take that if you are this bot lane.
Ooh,
meanwhile, good trade top. Bear showing the mechanics on this Aatrox, and he's going to be one tap here. Gemma going to have to flash away and not actually going to burn it. First blood over to the Aatrox with the flash. And we might not be done here. Breadwater maybe in a rough spot here. Going to get ganked by Jethy. Can he get away from the Q, the flash? Ooh, the fancy movement. Going to get him out. And Jabe actually going to get taken super low by the tower. And so flash burned, but no kill for the gentleman.
Yeah. Gentleman hurting this early game. Bear sinking his claws. The enemy top laner here. You know, I do like bear facts with Bear. I'm realizing I need to up on my bear facts. I've been learning a lot of bird facts. That's been my latest pastime. Oh, but Gemmo might be in trouble here.
Yeah, Bear's showing a lot of proficiency on this Aatrox early, making life, even though the CS doesn't really show it, definitely getting the upper hand in this matchup so far. I think I was talking with Luffy about the bear facts, right? And it's like, I don't see one that got cashed in, but...
It wasn't. I was just thinking about it.
Looking at him.
Bear's here.
Yeah, because it's like, when you cash in a bear fact with Bear on a stream that Bear's not on, you know, it's really, you're just kind of gambling on like what the caster's going to talk about, right?
Listen,
you know, it's
I
like the
have
waffle
said
cam.
this. I have said this before. I will say it again loud and proud. If you redeem a bear fact, I will give you a fact about a bear. Okay? If I am on stream, bear facts with Bear are good. And we did get one redeemed. Thank you, Times Legend. I will have your bear fact cooked up here shortly. My favorite baseline bear fact to start. This is not your meat and potatoes. This is just to enter you. There's a surprisingly few number of bears in the world, in terms of species. So it's like, I think it's like 11. I'm gonna double check it real quick. Actually, only 8. There are only 8 species of bear. Would you believe that?
Seems almost impossible.
Yeah.
I have to say, really impressed. I mean, I feel like I've already said, like, Bear, these trades are going really in his favor. Really kind of utilizing that counter pick, forcing out that TP, got that solo kill. Q not going to quite connect from GZJ, but Jethy coming here on the backside, waves in a bad spot for TV. Is this going to lead to a play? We do have Flash on the brand. They could look to make a play here.
Done.
E is going to connect with the hook in from GCJ. Going to connect. Flash having to be popped there by Papa Doge, and he is burning from this brand. Not going to die, but that's going to be 2 flashes out for.
Yeah, they have Aurelion Soul here, though. They could look to dive. Papa Doge is really low. Voodoo Mama Juju not quite going to be the level 6.
I'm not sure when the unsealed spellbook gets unlocked, but Youngster Joey could maybe look for a TP onto that mid tower to defend. Actually, just going to invade here on the other side, though. Take away this blue. Actually, just going to walk it. Oh, look at that. What a nice guy. Donating the blue buff to the Syndra. It's not something you see too often here anymore.
Yeah, I feel like that used to be a lot more common. So really wanting to make sure that Breadwater is feeling comfortable, feeling safe. But Jethy not wanting to give up the bot lane pressure here just yet.
No, ultimately doesn't amount to... Got to steal the camps, but is okay after that. And Youngster Joey, there's just a bit of a trade on these blue sides.
Also, for your official Bear Fact Times legend, what I want to say is there is a hypothetical species of polar bear king. I think it was called like Ursus Rex, like a king bear, that was based off of a Singer Ulnar fragment that was found, I believe, in the United Kingdom. But it is highly contested as to whether that is a polar bear lineage or a grizzly brown bear lineage.
And there you have it.
It's a fun little archaeology. Would that be paleontology? What is it if you're talking about like Ice Age mammals? Is that paleontology?
I'm not the best person to ask. I did have to late drop my archaeology class in college because I may not have been having the best grade. So I couldn't tell you. Someone in chat will be knowledgeable. Probably know. We did see a bit of a different switch up from last game. We saw early grubs from TV and early drag from the Gentlemen. We'll have to see what things look like in about 5 minutes as Bear going to continue with these trades. Not looking good. The low budget LCS saying they're extremely sleepy, not just normal sleepy.
The extreme sleepy. Listen, it's hard out here. Okay, I feel like I hit a certain age somewhere in the 20s, and I can't stay up till 3 anymore. Man, it's kind of messed up. Like, I don't know.
I've been lately finding myself. Just these. Bear seems to have that mechanic down where he hits the first Q, immediate W into the weird positioning of the second Q. There's that one Aatrox one trick that I see all the time. Nile seems a bit of shades of that coming out from Bear. I was gonna say for me it's more so like I get home from work and I'm just actually will have to hold that thought as Nautilus Q going to hit. Terakar does come through quick. Can they stay alive long enough for Youngster Joey to get here? Does have the flash. Does he look to commit? That's actually going to be the enchanted arrow hitting onto the Jarvan. I don't think they're going to have a play. And looks like it's going to be a barrier for Ignite in the end. But Youngster Joey sticking around on Vision. I don't think going to be a tough look here.
Yeah, I think this is tough for the Jarvan, although props to Youngster Joey for keeping up in farm with the brand. That is not easy. But yeah, Papa Doge, Voodoo Mama Juju just a little bit too low on the health bars there, I think, to really make the plays happen. And GZ1 making sure they can't back. That's a nice little move.
Yeah, we do see, and there it is, the Unsealed Spellbook. We do have Teleport currently in the Smite slot for as we see the TP into the mid wave so they can pry out the grubs. That's what we're looking for here. More trading top lane. Gemmo coming out worse for wear. We have the full item on mid and top lane, so you have to figure the scrub fight looking good. But Jethy's coming up here. There is no fight. Youngster Joey's on the grubs, and Jethy trying to hit the W, flash in, coming through, not going to connect, and Youngster Joey goes in for the Cataclysm, going to be flashed out from Gemmo, and Bear is continuing the pressure. Brand has popped the R. I think they got to give this one up. Both supports coming up here. I don't think we're done.
Lots of punch Counterpunch. We got some sports chat happening in the chat. Is Mets baseball?
Yes. They're the lesser of the two New York teams, I believe, as we might have a bit of a 1v1 here. No barrier. Papa Doge getting flashed in on by Jolson. That's just going to be a 1v1. It looked a little close there at the end, but ultimately Ash picking up that solo kill.
Yeah, clean plays here from Jolson. Actually still has the Enchanted Crystal arrow available, as youngster Joey is going to be able to pick up the Grublings.
I like that double flash there. Heads up from Voodoo Mama Juju, but even more heads up from Jabe. This fight's not done. GCJ gets popped super low here. Jabe doesn't have the flash, gets killed by Breadwater, and GCJ's burning on that backside. Jethy's here to try and reinforce. Kill count goes to 2-1 and about a 2,000 gold lead for Team Volatility.
Yeah, Team Volatility looking really heads up, rotating around, getting it done. Nice little play there, but good counterpunch is what I'll say. I think I maybe say counterpunch too much, but you know.
No, I like it. You know, people got their sayings, right? Like when I think of the chance, I think of absolutely. You know, that's a big buzzword for him. Is Jethy getting caught out by Voodoo Mama Juju? Kaisa is here. Flash comes through, and it doesn't look like they're able to kill the brand. Meanwhile, we got the arc coming through top, and that's going to be a solo kill for Bear onto Gemmo. 2-0 on this Aatrox. Taking advantage of that counter pick.
You know what I think happened?
Might have to hold that
thought. Bear
thought.
was in hibernation game 1.
Ooh, youngster Joey hits the EQ onto Jolson. We know he doesn't have flash. Terrakar coming through. Heal going to be popped in response, and I don't think there's a continued fight, but that should be Dragon going over to Team Volatility here.
Yeah, really, really nice plays here from Team Volatility. They know even if that play doesn't go their way, even if they can't get the kills, they burn the Terrakar, and that makes them pretty confident. Hey, look, we can take this Drake. It is going to be ours. We'll even that up. So now it's, we're 3k gold up. We're 2 kills up. We're sitting pretty. And, yeah, just making really solid use of the pick potential that their composition has.
I don't think that youngster Joey played poorly on the Zyra last game, but I think that this is actually Jolson going to get chunked out here. E is going to connect on from the Tarek, and Kaisa is going to R in. They are going to trade in the end, and now we've just got the supports probably going to walk this one out. I was going to say that I don't think the Zyra was bad, but I think Jarvan is just way more in the kind of the style of play that youngster Joey wants to go for. I think being able to play make and be aggressive, I think there's just a lot more opportunity to do that on the Jarvan. So I'm really liking, even though the KDA doesn't say that a whole lot's happened, getting these objectives as Jethy trying to get the Rift Herald gonna get pushed off. I'm liking what I'm seeing this game.
Yeah, it's looking really, really clean. I think they said, okay, game 1, that was our warm up. That was our warm up, And my bear fact for you, I am 21, is that ooh, hang on.
I have to hold that Breadwater getting hooked up, and that's going to be a massive amount of damage onto the brand, but ultimately it's going to be a shutdown over to the Asol, and now Voodoo Mom Juju getting burnt up. Cataclysm just about to come up, flying over the wall, and that Rift Herald resets. That is killer for Team Volatility.
That is rough, and that is a really, really big gold injection there. Not going to even it out. Still 1,200 behind Breadwater there on the Syndra, but certainly going to help Jabe hold their own and scale into the late game with this Dragon pick.
Now, hopefully, maybe we have a moment for your bear fact.
Yes. So my bear fact is going to revolve around polar bears. Polar bear livers have so much vitamin A in them, which, side fun fact about vitamin A was, as the name might imply, the first of these essential nutrients to be discovered that we need in our diet that we don't sort of manufacture ourselves. But there's so much vitamin A in a polar bear liver that just 1/10 of a gram is enough for your daily vitamin A intake. Vitamin A, you might actually know by another name if you're into skincare at all. Vitamin A's scientific name is retinoic acid. So if you've heard of retinol, that is going to be a vitamin A solution.
And there you have it. Nice and long bear effect there. Youngster Joey is on vision, so GZJ just kind of has to meander forward. There's no going back. First tower does go down there in the mid lane. That's actually going to be a Cataclysm onto the Nautilus, and they are getting picked. They got hit by the Syndra stun. There is no flash, and that's going to be the EQ coming back through. Jolson having to flash away in response. Jabe trying to do the damage they can over the top. Do we have an Jimmy Clister out? And that's going to be a pop onto the Ashe. Double kill for Breadwater. Goes to 3-1, and we see more fighting top. Rift Herald getting popped here, and this is the advantage of having those 6 grubs. Oh, Jabe getting caught. Good movement there. Did pop the flash. Did have to use the big R, but they are going to be able to survive. And Rift Herald actually got driven aggressively. I didn't actually quite catch that, but it's not gonna hit this bot lane.
Yeah. Really good play. Good acceleration here coming out from Team Volatility. Counter to last game where they had the back foot, but the game sort of stayed even for a really long time. Their gold lead is sort of starting to increase with time, right? You've got 5K up now, which we didn't see until far later in the game for game 1. So Team Volatility are absolutely accelerating this game a little bit quicker than the Gentlemen did in their situation.
Yeah, we're gonna see. It's a lot of it comes down to these towers. That's all 3 tier 1s being taken out. Bear sitting on a good amount of gold here. Everyone else is resetting. You'd have to imagine the Bear's looking to kind of link up at this dragon. Probably has time to walk it down. Doesn't have to teleport. Yeah, I don't know if this is the look for the Gentlemen. You're down that 5,000 gold. You don't see the Aatrox. Maybe second drag's not worth fighting over, or maybe you got Soul, right? Give some time, working on that tier, has the Rylai's. Maybe, if I was in their shoes, maybe I'm looking to do something else here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that, scaling certainly is an option here. It's potentially going to be a little bit rough with the gold differential. I oftentimes cope on scaling and then am wrong. So we will have to wait and see. But Rand Aurelion Soul late game certainly sounds tough to deal with.
It is going to be the dragon conceded. Gentlemen kind of recognizing their spot in the game at the moment. They're going to go ahead and give that one over. It is Mountain Soul, which I think is really good. If TV is able to kind of get to that spot where it's going to get to a potential soul point. The immediate damage from A Soul with the R, just the brand damage in general, getting that extra MR, getting that extra armor. Gemma trying to go for a little bit of a leash there on the Gromp. But just more unlucky than anything there. I do really like the Mountain Soul. It's one of my personal favorites.
It is also the second highest win rate soul. So, you've got taste.
That's right. We do see... Oh, Papa Doge hits onto that W and just goes under the tower, gets stunned up. Good respect R coming out from Voodoo Mama Juju. I like the aggression, though. They're not sitting on their laurels. They're not just sitting waiting around... waiting for the game to be handed to them. They're kind of making the proactive plays, and that's what you want to see. Kind of, again, if they lose this game, they lose the series. So, like they're trying to make stuff happen.
Yeah, and Papa Doge seems like they're really out for blood, and I think when you pick Kaisa, you are really looking for that pick composition. Kaisa Jarvan I particularly love because you can make some crazy fast snap plays. All of a sudden there's an EQ from over the wall. All of a sudden there's a Jarvan on your head and a Kaisa on your head.
Oh, youngster Joey, good flash out there, but he's still going to get hit up by the Nautilus hook, and he's actually going to go back in, gets hit by the stun from the brand. Cataclysm in with the Terracar over the top, and Aatrox is trying to come in through the top. Jolston stuck in the cage. Oh, EQ comes through, and the burn is going to kill Jolston. Meanwhile, Voodoo Mama Juju and Breadwater just getting burned up from Jabe on the backside, and Bear is now in a 1v5. He gets the kill onto the brand, and they have to run. Papa Doge is here. Bear is continuing with hits the W onto Jabe. Pull back on the Aatrox, and that's going to be a continued fight under the tower. Stun connect onto Jabe, and Breadwater is on a rampage, and this might be a full-blown ace coming out. 14 Volatility, flash under the tower. Bear is feeling himself, has to get out. Not going to drop. 5-9 goes the kill count.
Man, that fight looked so good for the Gentlemen, but Bear came down from the top side, sword blazing, and just absolutely decimated the team of the Gentlemen. I mean, ooh, talk about a difference maker. That was quite the display.
Yeah. Bear really popping off here on the Aatrox, which I didn't even get a chance to talk about this skin. I just love it because it reminds me of old Aatrox, which I was a big fan of. One of like the 5 people on Earth. Bear was the difference maker in that fight. Like I said, I think Bear is he's a big confidence player, right? You know, if he gets off to that early start in the game, you know, we're kind of seeing that play out here where flashing under the tower 1v3 does not care, gonna like make the plays happen, and to his credit, he's making them happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Fed Aatrox is one of the most scary things that I've ever seen. As a Trundle player, if there's a champion that I can't 1v1 and win, actually, as a Trundle and a Warwick player, if there's a champion I can't 1v1 and win, I get a little bit terrified because I'm not quite sure how I deal with that then.
GZJ walking into the trap. EQ coming through onto the brand, does get connected. Pullback from the Nautilus. They are going to drop. Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to get Jethy out there, though. And Youngster Joey was looking for the Cataclysm. Not quite going to get it, but you have to imagine that this push on the bot turret should lead to a turret, if not at least a lot of damage coming through, and just patience is rewarded there for Team Volatility.
Yeah, looking good, looking clean. I'm also Ooh, nice little trade though.
Yeah, trade is coming through. Breadwater is going to get shut down there. Objective bounties are live, but that's a lot of money into the brand, and brand is just one of those champs. Such a nuisance to play against. Ooh, Youngster Joey fishing there. Looking for it. Gemmo going to be okay here. We got Dragon coming up in 30 seconds, though.
Yeah. Drag will likely go over to the side of Team Volatility here. That will put them on Soul Point, which will give them that significant pressure point for the Baron. I also do want to note the Gentlemen mid-jungle handshaking say, I like your build. No, I like your build.
Oh, now they deviated, though.
Yeah,
Jethy just a little bit ahead. You know, it's not a race. It's it's a marathon.
It's a marathon. Yeah. If we've learned anything from the Olympics.
Yep. We were talking about the Olympics before the stream.
One thing I was realizing today, I did not realize how many qualifying steps there were for the Olympics. Like even once you get to the Olympics, there's preliminary heats.
Yep.
To make it to the main stage for a lot of the events.
Yeah, this death brush in the bot side, very intimidating. Look at Jabe here on the bot side. His entrance into this strat. Oh, they're actually going to give up that positioning. Looks like the Gentlemen going to try and push this mid turret as the answer. As TV going to get onto Soul Point here. Is there a look here mid? You've got Syndra walking up behind him. You've got the flash on your Jarvan. I don't think the follow-up's quite there just yet. They could look to also just go Baron here.
Yeah, gotta back up on that one. Going to be moving over towards the Baron. They're thinking they've got the juice for it. I would not be inclined to disagree.
No,
they will be starting that one up. See if it gets sniffed out here.
No TP though on the Syndra, so they are going to have to keep that in mind. Is in the mid lane currently. We're going to have to see, do they look to contest this? Brand, do they even know? Down to about 4K, and it looks like this is just going to be given over to Team Volatility.
Yep. And we were talking about the Baron win rate. I don't know if any of the stat sites have that, but certainly this seems like the game won't end with this Baron, but good. I'm betting this feels like a 2 Baron kind of game if Team Volatility are going to take it. I think if it goes much past 2 Barons, I feel like Jabe can take a pretty big bite out of the side of Team Volatility with that Aurelion Soul.
Yeah, that's one of those things you kind of are on. Not that you're on a full-blown clock. It's not like you're against a Nasus. It's not like you're against a Kale. But Aesol, the longer the game goes, Smolder's another example. You don't want to stick around super long against those kind of guys. We see this pressure kind of in all 3 lanes. We'll see where TV looks kind of make their push, or they're just going to kind of gradually take each of these turrets.
Yeah,
Looks
nice
like a
pick
fight.
there. Looking like maybe in the mid lane.
Papa Doge getting caught up, does have to burn the Terragar. Now Breadwater might just get the solo kill onto Jabe. And that is the big R burn. That's a huge tool that's going to be down for the Gentlemen here.
Yeah, and I do feel like that is a smart thing for the side of Team Volatility to be doing, to be playing in this 1-3-1. Because if you have Aurelion Sol, who kind of needs to go clear by himself, he can't really do the cooperation he needs
Jesse
to.
gets caught. EQ comes through. Flash not going to be able to connect. Does get the flash off the Brand, and that does set up Jarvan to maybe look for an EQ onto the Brand. They are just going to play this nice and slow. And there is the Cataclysm over the top with the stun. Jesse goes down. Bear is 1v2 on the top side. Actually 1v3 for Set to run away. Now Jolson getting ran down by the Aatrox, and that is going to be another kill into his pockets on a Rampage. And this is looking like they're not waiting around for a second bear, and they're looking to end this right now. Double inhib down, triple inhib down. Got Drake coming up in 2 minutes. Things are looking dire for the Gentlemen.
Yeah, it's about a 12k gold lead. I think we might just be looking at a game 3 here tonight, folks. Not saying you can't come back, but I am saying I've had some pretty sad experiences trying to just wave clear 3 inhibs. If you don't have the right champions for it. Now, having a Brand will help. But is going to be a rough one here for the side of the Gentlemen.
If there is a silver lining to the triple inhib, you're really kind of able to funnel the Aurelion Sol, the supers. You are able to get a lot of gold, kind of clear those waves. It's going to make it tough to contest the Soul. I don't necessarily know if the Gentlemen have an answer for that, but at the very least, you can try and get some gold on your Aurelion Sol, on your Ashe. Because right now, I mean, this Aatrox, this Syndra, even the Kai'Sa, despite not having the most kill participation, they've been doing a lot of work, kind of like a pseudo frontliner. I feel like Kai'Sa Papa Doge has been. And they're not waiting around for the dragon. They're looking to force something here in the bot side. Maybe usher in these
Papa Doge
waves.
is not shy at all about popping up in the face of the enemy team.
Yeah, these waves are getting cleared out, though, by the Asol. That's going to be a hook in. Immediate Asol R only stuns up Young Joey, and Jabe is going to not get caught there under tower, but now you have the top wave crashing as well. Can they hold on against all 3 waves? Jeezy J getting burned super low. Papa Doge getting low. Gemmo going to get popped with the Cataclysm, and there goes the bear on the back line. One by one, the members of the Gentlemen are falling. Terragar coming through at the perfect time, and we are heading to game number 3 as Team Volatility are going to take game number 2.
Team Volatility or Team Valility, take it down. Take us to a game 3. Very exciting. So we've seen one win. We've seen the other win. What do you think it takes for the third one? Is it tenacity? Is it momentum? Or do we think it was maybe the draft prep was just a cut above this game?
I mean, like I said, I think that game, as I just wanted to quickly put up the coriander, so regardless of who's on which side this game, they will be set. I think it was just a lot of comfort there for TV. You've got Young Joey on something that wants to play make. You've got Breadwater on one of his signature picks. You've got Bear able to take advantage of that top lane counter and kind of ride that momentum. And it didn't feel like once things started to get rolling for the for Team Volatility, didn't seem like the Gentlemen kind of had that punch in their pocket, as you call it, the counter punch. So I think definitely as far as this game, I think if I'm the Gentlemen, I liked kind of giving counterpick to top lane, so maybe switching over to the red side would behoove them. Maybe getting
Brett did win both games.
Brett has won both games. Maybe getting Jeffy back on something that can play make. Maybe that's the key. You had the Rammus game 1, Jarvan game 2. Maybe that's the solution. We'll have to see as we do see the members of the Gentlemen loading in here, and we'll see what side they take.
Yeah. Going to be exciting as I will pop down there. Seems like the Jays are going to be on blue. Nope, they're swapping on over. So it seems as though the Gentlemen have selected the winning side. I'm just going to say it. Red side wins.
Red side wins. You heard it here first. Thank you for that payout. Now all my losses in the first 3 bets of the season don't actually matter. I'm up on the season overall. See a Malphite bot getting introduced into the mix. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, listen. If let me pitch something here real quick. If any team wants to have a League of Legends AI play for them, can they? I'd be open to it. What are your thoughts?
I mean, Red side is just too strong in this series. I think I don't know. I feel like so many, and maybe this is just like not based on any type of truth whatsoever, but I feel like in these best of 3s and it goes to game 3, I always find myself favoring the team that won in game number 2.
Mm-hmm. Momentum is big.
The past several semifinals that I have lost, I think the last 3, all of them, my team won game number 1 and then lost the last 2. So maybe that's like some own personal demons or something, but no, it just feels like if you're able to, equalize it, you just feel so good heading into that game number 3. Whereas like if you win game 1 and then you drop game 2, you just don't quite have that same gusto.
That's interesting. Yeah, I feel like I have the opposite experience. I feel like I usually lose game 1, win game 2, lose game 3. Usually we're able to claw something back. Then get a little overwhelmed.
Oh, one thing that went under the radar there, the draft link worked perfectly fine right off the rip last time.
True.
We'll have to see if it works off the rip this time.
Also, I am going to say, I genuinely have no idea what Aurora does.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any chance that champ gets picked?
I don't. If it's going to get picked, I think it's being picked by the Gentlemen. I don't believe either. As they're saying they're waiting on us. I don't believe anyone on TV's got that in the bag at the moment. Maybe there, but if it's going to come out, I think you're probably going to maybe see it as a counter, maybe for the Gentlemen. I'm not the biggest fan of Aurora. Kind of a nuisance. It's just a bit of a nuisance top laner. Because that's kind of where it's finding itself at the moment. Not being played as much in the mid lane. So you see some Let's Go Bears in chat.
Top laner, huh? What's the gist of Aurora's kit? If I can just make you spoon feed me the League of Legends information.
It's got like I actually haven't played a game of it, but I compare it to like a gnat. Like that's kind of what in my mind Aurora is. It's constantly trying to poke and prod. I think like you're always trying to like get your passive off, which I think like you pair it with like Electrocute or Fleet, and you just kind of get that like extra one trade every 15-20 seconds. You have like the invisibility. You can like go in for a play, go invisible, kind of get out for free. You've got the R, which like traps them in the box, and you can like bounce all around. Yeah, AP Vayne. That's a pretty good description. Like they play very similar up in the top lane. As we are getting started with draft here.
Yeah, we're getting into it. Excited to see what the adaptations are going to be. We wait. Volatility's ban. Bated breath. Felios is going to be taken off the table again. If you just won, why change anything,
That's true. The pressure's on the Gentlemen to fix up something with draft. Do they look to ban the Syndra in the first 3? Do they look to... I don't think you're banning the Aatrox necessarily in that first 3, but they're keeping the Ezreal ban. have to see what else is coming through. Vigar being taken off the table. So the Caitlyn is up.
Yeah, it is going to be available here. As is the Jarvan. That was their ban way back in game 1. See, Ezreal going to be taken off the table. Was that new, or did they ban that last game?
They did ban that last game, but they all TV banned out the Caitlyn, so could see Jolson back on that. We saw them have a really good game in game number 1, and there's going to be the Syndra ban. So
yeah,
a little bit of respect there being paid to Breadwater.
I absolutely deserved the Syndra pick. I saw some deletions last game. Felt perhaps a little personal. You play Vigar, I'll play Syndra. Kind of vibes. Smolder, speaking of late game stacking champions.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get much more late game stacking than this. Definitely a bit of a different taste than what we've seen so far. I mean, we have to assume it's Papa Doge getting this Smolder. I don't believe Bear has that quite in the wheelhouse. Yeah, interested to see what they kind of build around it. Because with Smolder, you got to get to those stacks. You got to, bide your time. Jin going to be picked up. Pretty reliable. If not, it's not the most pop-off AD carry in the game, but Jin will get the job done.
Mm-hmm. And Jin's really good to pair if you have other damage sources. Like if you're maybe doing a little more carry jungle, if you have a mid laner who can roam down. Because he's got that nice long-range lockdown assist with the W. And, obviously long-range assist with the ultimate as well. So if you're looking for something that, occasionally needs some bonus firepower or a little bit more CC, it can be quite nice to have.
Jin Leona, a bot lane, as classic as they come. We'll likely see support coming out here for TV. They could go with like Alistar as engage/disengage for the Smolder. They could go an Enchanter. Gonna be the Thresh, which I think we saw banned out game number 1 against Voodoo Mama Juju. So getting kind of their preference into the Leona. Obviously, the tools are in your favor, right? Leona goes in for the E. It just comes down to how quick are you on the flay. A lot of playmaking there.
Yep. Ooh, Sejuani. Team Volatility putting youngster Joey on the Sej duty.
It happens to the best of us, right? Chat might go, at least a couple people might, there's a bit of running meme with Less Force and the Sejuani duty. There's a bit of a meme that's been going around in community a little bit. I think Sej, it's not sexy, it's not pretty, but sometimes you just gotta suck it up and like be that front line for the Smolder. It's not your job this game to win the fight. You just gotta peel and do what you gotta do. And we see the Rammus coming back out for Jethy. Interesting. I do think Sejuani looks good here. You gotta pair it with a melee top, I think. At least in this setup. Because Smolder probably not going to do a ton for you early. I think you're going to have to pick something strong top lane to kind of get you through the early game. I'm curious what that's going to be for Team Volatility. Whereas the Gentlemen, again, they've got the counter. They take away the Ahri and they take away the Mundo. And respect being paid to JMO on that Gwen.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what the last ban is. I like seeing the Rammus come back. I am worried about the amount of DPS.
Yeah, Jin, not the highest damage per minute, or damage per second, right? It's all about getting those big burst auto attacks off. So probably gonna need a high damage mid laner, and really a high damage top laner. You kind of have your front line settled with the Rammus, with the Leona. I wouldn't be surprised if we maybe see a set coming out for Team Volatility. It's gonna be the Orianna blind for Jade.
Okay, I do like Orianna. Orianna Rammus gives me some interesting vibes. I do feel like Gentlemen kind of have to win this game off picks, though, because I'm still not seeing that consistent DPS that I think you.
And as maybe predicted, that is going to be the set coming through for Bear. Got some really easy delivery systems. The Rammus goes in, you take him right back out. I like this pick pairing with a Sejuani, and currently hovering Victor. Kind of a generic, control mage. Not quite as bursty as a Syndra, but should do fine if this is the route they choose to go. No, it is going to go back to the Hui, which we saw game number 1.
Hui is going to be out here for, I'm assuming, Redwater. I'd be really excited to see what the last pick is here for the Gentlemen. That might make or break my personal prediction, as I want to see something that can deal the damage. Gwen obviously not going to be an option. I think that would slot in extremely well here. Pantheon going to be the pick. Full committing to a pick composition, I will say. So it will be very interesting to see how this one plays out. Tons of CC, honestly, on the side of both teams. So I think it's really going to be a little bit of a rhythm game. Have you heard my theory?
No, let's hear it.
All video games are just rhythm games with different themed wrappers. Right? And this extends particularly well to something like World of Warcraft, right? World of Warcraft is a rhythm game. It's just a rhythm game that you have to, figure out the correct rhythm by having the correct build. And then the other part of the rhythm is, looking on your screen, seeing where the giant meteor is going to land, and making sure you're not in that location. Jumping at the right time. It's all just hitting buttons in the right time, It's just that in League of Legends, you have some influence over the timing that your opponents hit the button.
It's not quite where I thought you were going to go with the talk of League, games being rhythm games. I was thinking more of the how it's a trade of objectives, right now it's it's my turn to make the first move. Team Volatility goes for the drag because we're strong, and then the answer is, Gentlemen going to go for grubs, and it's my turn, their turn to make a play. Kind of thinking more of a 2-person dance, but I think there's some merit to what you're saying. Time to gamble. We won't let you guys down. We've got one more prediction to come out here tonight. Yeah. Well, that's just not rhythm at all, though, Mr. Ellis. That's just noise, right?
Hang on, vuvuzelas can have rhythm.
Oh well.
Okay.
Well, it's not the instrument that's at fault. I feel like it's user error typically. Yeah, I feel like I've never heard a vuvuzela that was just not noise pollution, right?
Yeah, I think that's fair. My friends and I used to have a couple vuvuzelas in undergrad, but I can't say that those were used to much musical effect.
Yeah, I mean, those were really big. What was that, 2010? The, was it the World Cup?
I think it was the World Cup, yeah.
Can't say I've ever had one. They looked really cool, though. Let's, what are your thoughts? Going in as we'll have about 3 minutes of spectator delay. Game series on the line here. Whoever wins this comes out on top. Who are you liking here? And it's important to know that whatever you say, I'm gonna have to This Means War it.
Yeah, I know. Listen. Game 1, Game 2, I was here for the Gentlemen, right? However, I just don't think they have consistent enough damage here. I have to go with Team Volatility. I also just kind of like the Sejuani pick. I'm gonna be honest. So. Yeah, I'm laying it down, Team Volatility, putting you in a interesting position.
Well, here's why you're wrong, right? Sejuani is useless. It's the champion you pick when you have no other picks. really just, tank junglers, throw them to the side. The pick comp for the Gentlemen goes crazy here. If you get, Pantheon with an Orianna ball on top of this Smolder, what is Papa Doge going to do? Absolutely nothing. And then at that point, you've got a Hui and you've got a Set. And yeah, it's going to take a while to kill through the Set and the Sejuani and the Thresh, but ultimately, your real threat is just kind of getting that Smolder once they're on those stacks. So thank you to Papa Potion. I'm going to have to go all in on the Gentleman here, as I was this means the ward.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you can this means war a lot of things. This means war my opinion on whether, carrots belong in marinara sauce or not.
Oh, well. I sure hope that that's like a pretty consensus like no, right?
I think carrots are essential for a marinara sauce. Not even just like good in a marinara sauce. I'm gonna call it essential. Okay? I'm gonna throw that one out there, and I will accept the barrage of comments that follows.
There is the prediction for those of you that have been asking in chat. You got 5 minutes. Make your mark here. Early bets in favor of Team Volatility. Very heavily now, actually. 8,000 being put down. 94-6. So if you're following the Papoba train of thought, you might be making some money on the Gentleman. As I'm going to go ahead and switch us over a little early. Not missing much on the spectator delay. Just so we can get the right people on the right sides. Very, very professionally done here at the low budget LCS. Gotta get that cat nice and up in the corner.
You gotta see the caster drag him over,
That's how you know that it's just like authentic, It's not high grade, we don't cut to a break. We spend our time here with you all talking about carrots and marinara, which we'll have to get into that maybe another time. But anyway, we should be all, you'll see marinara and cereal, how did we get here, Zen Money? How did the conversation, that's one of the worst things I've ever read, I think. And I just I'm really disappointed. Not mad, just disappointed.
Marinara and cereal. Okay, listen. I think it depends on the kind of cereal. I think if you had something particularly bland, it might actually work. It's like a breadcrumb topping kind of vibe. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But if you're talking Fruit Loops, absolutely no way. Carrots have an earthiness and a natural sweetness that complements the tomato's acidity extremely well. Cereal's just sugar.
That is true. We are into game number 3 here. Just to do the quick time check, I'm at 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
Okay, we're all good.
All right. So we again see this 4-man stack. We saw this game number 1 when they were on blue side, but it's just going to be kind of this generic kind of 5-point. Sejuani is going to lead the charge, going to be on a ward, but they're going to get what they come for. They're going to drop that ward on the red, so they'll know kind of what, and it looks like Youngster Joey knows that they know. So it's kind of that, little dance of, double bluffing and triple bluffing. Not too much other action going to go on here, though.
Yeah. Gonna be enjoying that ward, though, here into the early game. Now, let's say you're Youngster Joey, right? You've been put on Sejuani duty. Got your Pantheon set top lane. Got your Smolder Thresh versus Jin Leona bot lane. Where are you pathing? Why are you pathing that way? And what modifications can you make to make that choice more effective?
I mean, I think I would also probably start where Youngster Joey is, kind of head towards that top lane. You have obviously the easy setup with the Haymaker, with the E. There are looks potentially mid, if Breadwater is able to get a good fear off. Orianna can be pretty susceptible, not the most mobile of mid lane options. There's a lot of places they can look to go. But I also don't mind just like farming on Sejuani. Like even though it is a tank, it is a, ideally you want to gank. There's still opportunities to just go for farm. We are gonna see Rammus on that top ward, so I do know where Rammus is at, where he's likely gonna path to. The question is, does Rammus head bot? As we do see a good hook there come out from Voodoo Mama Juju, but no level 2 means no play.
Yeah. Level 2 spike. Gonna be rough. Yeah. Sejuani pathing up. Rammus down. I think youngster Joey looking at the mid lane perhaps a little bit there. What are your opinions on Q flashing as Sej?
If it's a good look, it's a good look, right? I think generally, and that's kind of like that philosophical question of like, is it probably worth? Oh, is Gemmo gonna see youngster Joey on that blue buff? Kind of in a tough spot here, but I don't really think Bear can come and answer. Leona gonna hit that Zenith Blade, gets the Jin W as well. That's gonna be a lot of damage coming through, and that's gonna be a big hook in return onto Jolson. Gonna have to flash away. Exhaust comes through. Flash away from Mama Juju, and now Papa Doge is just trying to run down this Jin. Gonna get hit up by the Leona. W comes through, and the taunt from Jethy. Papa Doge pops the barrier. Good play coming through here in response. And Voodoo Mama Juju might have a Q coming up soon. Gonna pull him under tower. First blood again over to the Rammus.
The most drawn out first blood of all time, but they get it done. Jethy coming in bot, flashing onto Papa Doge, saying, "You don't get to bully my AD carry like that. Only I get to bully my AD carry like that." And yeah, picking up the first blood. And remember what happened in game 1?
Yeah, it's probably game over for the gentlemen have probably won. They got the first blood on the Rammus. Results-based analysis. Youngster Joey is going to look to gank here. Not going to be able to hit that second proc on the W, so he is going to be able to walk that out. And yeah, just little bit of I don't want to say arrogance coming out from TV, but they know Rammus has to be on that bot side, right? And if you're Sejuani's top, it's just maybe losing yourself in the moment a little bit. Trying to get that early kill on the Smolder would have been really nice, as Redwater doesn't get the cannon, but he does get the trade-off.
Yeah. I mean, I think in that gank, though, I saw the vision. I saw the vision of the Sejuani, and I saw, hey, I understand how if a boar comes into your lane and drops a bunch of CC, how Hui might be able to do a metric shit ton of damage.
Voodoo Mama Juju looking with the Hex Flash. Good dodge there from Jabe. Not going to be fallen victim. Papa Doge has to be a little careful here. Jin Leona has a lot of lockdown. I don't know if they have the damage to 1v2 you, but still got to keep that in mind.
Yeah. Nice little respect training here from Bear and Genmo. Certainly not as explosive of a top lane as we had last time. So both top laners definitely showing the other one respect. Because this has also been a matchup where we've seen a lot of back and forth across the series.
Yeah, I feel like just pure one-on-one, if there's not a whole lot of explosive action, that kind of favors the set. I mean, I feel like Pantheon's one of those champs that has to get that ball rolling early, and so far hasn't quite been able to do so. Level 6 advantage to the set. Not sure that's going to do him a ton of good here under tower, but we do have the grubs coming up. Top lane is shoved, so we might just see again this trade of objectives. We've seen it every game in this series so far.
Yeah. I think
coming through.
Nice.
Papa Doge gets caught. Can he take the lantern? There's a lot of beefy members on it. They tried to deny it, but Papa Doge just gets out.
Interesting. That's I mean, you need Thresh there. There's no other champ that saves you from that particular play. It's a really nice. I mean, crazy that the lantern was actually clickable. I know it's a strategy that some people use where you drop a pink ward, right? On on top of the lantern icon to try and make it unclickable.
Mhm.
And I think they were trying to have a similar effect with their bodies. But yeah. Kudos to Doge for being able to click it. Kudos to Voodoo Mama Juju for playing
Ooh,
fresh.
Flash R coming through into the Sejuani R, into the flash away. Gemmo gonna get out. Do they look for a dive? This is a pretty big wave. You have the flash on Sejuani. Probably gonna look to take the tower aggro here, and Youngster Joey does take it. That's gonna be a W in from the Pantheon. Kill does ultimately go over. Meanwhile, mid lane, we see the taunt coming through. Breadwater flashes, does not matter. A lot of damage, though. Shield does get thrown on by Jabe. Ultimately, going to be a 1-for-1 play, and we are dead even in gold.
Yeah.
And
clean across the board. One Drake advantage for the side of the Gentlemen. This Rammus is continuing to accumulate wealth. It does harken back to the game one, but that dive on the top lane was incredibly clean. Huge props. Pant stole a grub.
He did.
Pant stole a grub.
We didn't see it on camera, but somehow is good hook there from Voodoo Mama Juju. They're looking to go on Jolson here while Rammus is running, and that's going to be a Torment in. Jethy very low, gonna have to run that out. We'll get Jolson out, but yeah, I'm assuming Pantheon probably just threw the Q in. Was a big meanie. That's what I'm assuming happened, and they're actually looking to maybe. I don't know if you can really dive this one. Ooh, Xenoflade comes through onto Papa Doge. Breadwater is here, though. TP coming through from the Orianna. Is there enough damage here? GCJ again burst is super low. 4v4, not sure if either side really wants to stick this one out.
Yeah, health bars are low here in the bot lane.
But now with that reset, Youngster Joey is full health. They might look to just dive this 4v3. Ooh, they're thinking about it.
Yeah, it is not looking great for the Gentlemen here. They have to find an out.
Meanwhile,
thankfully, though, no objectives to be had in the meantime.
We look topside, and Bear is currently proxying the actually they are going to continue to look. Ooh, our Shockwave not going to hit. GZJ is low, does not have the flash. Do they have a way to get out? Ooh, that's going to be a flash from the Sejuani with the Lantern coming through from the Thresh, and that's going to be a double kill over to the Sejuani. Cannot get the kill onto Jethy, or not Jethy, onto GZJ. Gonna be 2-for-1. Double kill over to Sejuani.
That was clean from the Sejuani. The flash to have the second W proc hit was absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, that's why it's some say the best champ in the game. I mean, results-based analysis for sure. As trying to just fish for these hooks. I mean, Voodoo Mama Juju not afraid to throw them out. We do have grubs coming up in about 40 seconds. Gonna be up well before the dragon, so I wouldn't be surprised if we maybe see Thresh kind of heading up that way off the reset. We do have Zeke's Convergence, first item rush. Not sure if you've been seeing this, but in the jungle, it's all about these support-based items, as GZJ might be catching out Papa Doge here. Xenoflade is going to hit into the Jin W. This lockdown is so obnoxious. Doesn't matter if there's not a solar flare. Jin is hitting the curtain call. Papa Doge is bobbing and weaving, and we're actually going to pan away. He actually gets out here. Xenoflade comes through, and Papa Doge is getting dove under the tower, but is he going to be able to trade in response? And that's going to be a 1-for-1, and that's going to be a 2-for-1 in favor of Papa Doge.
Oh my god. A slight misclick from Jolston means Papa Doge goes down in the 1-for-2, picking them both up. That's going to be a happy little dragon right there. But now Youngster Joey might actually be in trouble.
Yeah, good Q out there. Gotta wait for the rest of your team to show up. And Bear in a pretty good spot here. Could look to maybe hit an E. Does get the double E with the stun coming through. And that's going to be Gemmo getting dunked on top of Jethy. They have to pick one target to go for. Looks like it's going to be Gemmo getting hit up with the stun. Can they pick off the kill in time? Jethy actually not going down as well. Jabe on the other side gets picked off. And this is looking like it is all team volatility. 2 kills for nothing. And the grubs should be their prize.
You know, game one, the Gentlemen looked like the team that had their synergy down. Game 3, Team Volatility have it on lock. All of their members, except for Papa Doge, showed up to that top play. Really took it down. Going to secure themselves some neutral objectives as well as some kills. They're going to be very happy coming off of that one.
Yeah, once again, we're seeing Bear nice and strong up there on the top side, getting 4 plates at the moment. Might just get the whole tower, actually. Yeah, with those grubs, should be able to secure that. And the ult's going to come through. I do think Bear's probably going to die here as a response. Maybe not, though. He is fighting pretty hard here. Shut down over to Gemmo. Had that, the health advantage. Bear kept it close, though.
Yeah. Bear making sure that, at least Gemmo isn't healthy in that lane. Meanwhile...
Ooh, hook there from Voodoo Mama
Nice.
Juicy, keeping Jeffy off of Papa Doge. Mid lane going to get here first for the Gentlemen. Hui not in a position to fight here. Do they look to throw the Solar Flare? Good dodge away from Youngster Joey, and that hook is not going to connect. Shockwave delivery system from the Rammus does get onto 2. Zenith Blade does connect into the backside onto the Smolder, and they are locked down. There's nowhere for them to go, but look at this TP coming in from the set. No R, but they don't care. They flash in. Immediate kill onto the Orianna. And GCJ not long for this world. Gonna get killed there as well. Double kill in response. Gemmo, though, gonna chip away at this tower.
The game NA says first time here. Who dis? Welcome. We're the low budget LCS. We are your recreational beer league for League of Legends, and you're watching our financial league, which is what is it? E2 average.
Yeah, somewhere about there.
Right?
They're mostly Emerald. You'll see maybe a couple diamonds, a couple plats throughout teams.
Your occasional gold or silver. But yeah, mostly Emerald, a little bit of diamond, a little bit of plat. And we are on game 3 of a best of 3 series, so buckle in.
Ooh, Bear
nice.
on Vision didn't seem like he really cared, and maybe he was trying to bait this in the whole time. Look at that double haymaker, or the double E, and the pop from Breadwater. Triple kill on the way. What a setup. What a bait from Bear on this set.
Do you think he knew?
I think he had to have known. I think he was standing in the bush when that ward was put down, so he was just putting on a little song and dance there for the way.
Just a little song and dance. Insane in the membrane here. They are going absolutely crazy in game 2 and game 3, as Times Legend has redeemed the hunk to be transferred over to the Bear himself.
Yeah, I know Times Legend, High Alert top laner, has been getting some coaching from Bear. So no surprise there. I think Bear's playing super well. Both games 2 and 3, and even game 1. I mean, we saw kind of how stupidly strong Dr. Mundo was at certain points in that game. And so yeah, game 3 here, things are looking really good for Team Volatility. If you're the Gentleman, kind of what's your game plan back in at this point?
Ooh, well, like I said, you are living and you are dying based off of your pick composition. You need to get, I think, some sneaky vision, which means you need to have a significant amount of power on one side of the map so that GZ can go ahead and place those wards. And then you need to I think you need to find an angle where, I mean, we've seen them in this series before. One member is isolated, you pick them off, and then you take the 4v5 as aggressively as you can. Don't know if at this point, though, that will do it, as we are going to see them go in. Shockwave not going to land.
Yeah, Shockwave not going to land. Youngster Joey just frontlining that curtain call and gets pulled out with the Lantern. Bear coming through, does not quite have the R, does not have the flash. That was a lot kind of burnt there, and they don't get anything really. They get the Smolder Flash, which is nice, but this should be a Rift Herald for Team Volatility.
I like the look. I think the Pantheon ult was a tiny bit of an overcommitment here from the side of the Gentleman. Once you burn the Orianna ult with the Rammus ult to get the flash, I think you call it good. You want to save that global for a different time when you can have a different amount of pressure. But it's hard to say because, Pantheon ult has that delay. You want to be in there fighting if you're making the call to fight. So it is a good demonstration of their commitment. I think it's just, good heads up from TV.
And that's going to be so much burnt onto GZJ there. Rift Herald number 2 going to crash, and Jethy is looking. They're going to connect onto the Sejuani with the taunt. Turret is going to go down. Bear trying to peel off Gemmo there on the backside. Flash coming away from Jabe. Exhaust gets popped. Jethy going to go down here. And one by one, the members of the Gentlemen are dropping. That's a really silly position for the Rammus there. I don't know if anyone else caught that, but that was just really goofy. Yeah, things looking really good for TV here.
We love a goofy Rammus boy. Yeah. TV, again, extending the gold lead. We're seeing about 6K in the pocket, showing that Rammus, even if he gets first blood, it's not a guaranteed win. Well, maybe not yet. Not sure. Red side, also not a guaranteed win. As Bear's doing quite a bit of damage here to
Just
Genmo.
running him down one-on-one. Does not have the R. Good Pantheon E to block that damage, which I think would have been lethal. As we are going to see drag coming up in a minute. You have to imagine that TV is going to continue to push this advantage. Probably going to look to fight that. Might want to bring the set down in response. We do see Rammus top. Not sure if they're maybe looking to fish or kind of what. Maybe they're just clearing down.
Yeah. I think as Rammus at the point, you're a pick machine, right? So you're just rolling around the map looking for opportunities to taunt people. Not quite going to find it here. And I think they have some people who are particularly hard to taunt. I mean, Breadwater and Papa Doge are good targets, but, you don't really want to get in the face of a Bear. Probably don't really want to get in the face of a youngster Joey either. So, limited on the target selection here. And, yeah. A little bit of a sad day for our ball boy.
Yep, that's going to be... Ooh, Hook not quite going to connect, and Jethy is looking all in, trying to get Papa Doge, not going to be able to get it, and he is burning as a result. Gemmo on the backside gets hit up by the Glacial Fissure immediately from Sejuani. Shockwave does connect onto these carries, and Papa Doge does go down.
Oh.
Massive set R into the double stun, into the double kill, into the Sejuani kill, flash away from Jolson, and all that is left is the Jin. They don't care about the Dragon. They're looking to push this turret.
Yeah, this might actually be the end of the game here if they can play it appropriately. I want to highlight something there from Genmo in that fight. Genmo flashed in front of the Thresh Hook so that it didn't cancel Jolston's Curtain Call.
Yeah, heads up. Supportive gameplay even on something like the Pantheon. It was a good look, and that's when you're in this spot that the gentlemen find themselves in, you have to look for those type of plays. Unfortunately, not quite able to pick
TP.
up. They do get the smolder, and that's going to be double TP.
They're not giving this up.
They're not giving this up. Good trap. Jethy rolling on in, and the health advantage is in favor of the gentleman. We'll see if they have a look here. Oh, youngster Joey getting poked out so hard here. Joel's on the backside. Papa Doge and Voodoo Mama Juju are 2v1ing on that side. Massive hook there is going to connect, and that's going to be 2 kills over. Breadwater does get burned down on the backside, and that is a big shutdown over to the Rammus. Pull back from Bear, going to look to kill Jabe. Massive hook there onto GZJ, gets the Zenith Blade out, and these guys are continuing to scrap. That Dragon is going to reset here, but that's going to be another kill over to the Smolder, and I don't think they're done. These hooks are just on fire. Ult doesn't quite connect onto the Smolder. Does not matter, and that's going to be a full-blown ace. 5-for-1 in the favor of Team Volatility.
Yeah, Team Volatility, clean fight. And, I think it is kind of like I said in draft, there just isn't enough consistent DPS to get through the beef on the side of Team Volatility. Thresh is hard to get through. Sejuani is hard to get through. Set is hard to get through. He keeps regenerating that health. So without, one of your members being far enough ahead to pop one of these members, Team Volatility are just going to keep running you through the meat grinder.
Yeah, as Luffy is calling out, Sedge indeed looking good here. Youngster Joey really piloting the Sejuani well. I think, Bear on this set, I think, and then these hooks from Voodoo Mama Juju, maybe in the early game wasn't going insane, but these mid-game team fights, I think they're doing everything they need to do on that Thresh. And yeah, these guys are just looking really in sync here in this game number 3. Baron on the table. Someone pinging out in chat, Papa Doge, we are still a ways from the Smolder actually being kind of online. So, got to be feeling good there if you are at TV and doing this without that Smolder advantage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, uh-oh. Bear looking.
There's looking, Jabe having to flash away. I don't think there's a way out of this one, though. Shockwave actually going to pull Set in closer. Curtain Call coming through over the top, and Breadwater is taunted. Massive Lantern. Get him out. Again, Voodoo Mama Juju just protecting the carries. Youngster Joey's unstoppable, and that might just be a Baron in response. Too low are the Leona, are the Rammus. is the Oriana, and they're going to start this one up.
Oh, yeah. It looks like this one's going over to Team Volatility for certain here. Now, I'm going to ask you the question this time. You're the gentleman. This is your game state. What are you doing?
This is where it's so hard. I think Jethy trying to go for that steal, but just came in a little too early. Going to get picked off, and that is going to be the Baron going over to TV. I think, honestly, you're just kind of in that, like, do or die mode. I mean, we saw Smolder's not at that the stack point yet. You know, maybe it's going to be so hard now with the Baron to kind of, like, get into a bush cheese spot, but maybe just, like, trying to bush cheese and, like, get these picks. You have a good pick comp, even if the damage, like, isn't quite there for an extended fight. Trying to get the shutdown on the set, trying to get it on the set. Even Smolder and Thresh, those do have shutdowns. I think that's just kind of the spot you're in. Like right now, we're talking about rhythm. This is all about Team Volatility. Ult going to hit onto the Oriana, immediately popped. Set likely going to look to be dunking somebody in over the top. Double kill over to the set, and and this is looking like this is just going to be game over here. Double kill onto the way. Jethy getting torn apart under the tower. All that is left is the Pantheon and the Rammus. Jammo trying to do what they can. GGs are coming out into the chat, and that's going to be a 2-1 win for Team Volatility.
Yeah, great games from both teams involved. Always love a 3-game series. Team Volatility will start their season off with a W.
Yeah, TV going to open up in what looks to be a very tough Group C. I know you said you got some catching up on the little buses, as you called it. But some of the teams that we got in Group C this season, obviously we saw Team Volatility and the Gentlemen. You got Vega's team, Buttermilk Lifestyle, who had one great season last split. You've got the Pantheons of Financial, Team Fried Chicken in this group. There's a lot of good teams in Financial C, and so I think there was a series played yesterday, so this is the second of the week 1 matchups. Super good there to come out on top in week number 1. Let's take a look. If anyone from Team Volatility, I always like getting people on for a quick interview. It is getting pretty late, so I don't think we'll run too long.
Well, do we want to do the MVP poll?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We can each nominate a few MVPs, and then
I'll throw down Bear.
You're gonna throw out Bear.
A great game 2, great game 3.
Yep, Bear for sure was up there. I think you got to put Breadwater up there for games 2 and 3 as well. Just trying to think. I mean, really, again, like everyone from TV was playing pretty well there, especially in that game 3. Papa Doge. I mean, I'm thinking back to that game 1 with like the Ezreal, just the crazy place to keep them in the game.
True.
Jolston. I mean, and to the Gentleman's credit, I think Jolston had a really good series. That bot lane, even in game 3, they were putting the pressure on the Smolder and the Thresh.
We got some cards in chat to throw Youngster Joey as the last one. Does that sound good?
Sure. We can always throw Youngster Joey on there.
All right, and with that, get that prediction up and running. Now, I will remind everyone that we are not averse to a little bit of bribery here. You are allowed to use your schmeckles to vote more than once. And I know we've talked about the Schmeckle Inflation Index getting too high as of late, so please, if that is in your wheelhouse, do go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I'm for sure not helping out with that. Currently sitting at 318,000 schmeckles. Can't say I'm going to be burning them here today. Yeah, no, it was a good season last time. I think it was Econ Finals. Maybe it was like game 4, game 5. I think there was like 1.4 million schmeckles on the line or something absolutely insane. Youngster Joey saying 360K, and I'm going to spend the bank on Bear. Right now it's between Bear and Papa Doge, kind of a 2-man race.
Yeah. Interesting to see who comes out on the top. Bear, gonna win that.
Yeah, Bear's gonna win our poll here. Bear, I think you know the deal. I mean, well, technically as a caster, you don't even have to go to community, I'm pretty sure you're able to just meander your way straight on up to Casting on Air to come join us. And there he is. Yeah,
Yeah.
just get to barge on
What's up?
in. Welcome in. Obviously, typically in this channel as a caster, this time you're in as the MVP. Congratulations on the 2-1 series win.
you.
Yeah, tell me how we're feeling.
I feel great. I feel like I played well all 3 games. I felt like, I don't know, I felt really good on the Bruiser Juggernaut champions today on Aatrox and Set. So I just kind of was our game plan. I think the opposing team played very, very well. I know a lot of those guys haven't played a lot. And they're my dogs. I love Jolson, Jabe, and Jetty, especially because I know them the best. But yeah, I feel great.
Nice. Well, do you want to talk us through any of the thinking behind, when you had red side, obviously it looked like there was a lot of priority around top lane picks. How did you feel playing into the Pantheon the last game?
It was scary. I know it's the set Pantheon matchup is a big 50-50. Especially because he can just mitigate the whole W damage. I think I got I don't know. I just feel like I facilitated really well. Joey with the early dive kind of set Gemmo behind a lot with the dive, and the wave was crashed under tower. So, and then I got first turret as well. So I had a really big spike into like I got 2 items quickly, and it just felt like I don't know. I just kind of went from there.
All right.
How tell me about where were things at after game 1, right? Because you guys were in a rough spot, and then you'd get a big big claw back, and then you'd fall behind, get a big claw back. It's kind of what was the talk in between game 1 heading into game 2?
At game 1, we felt like our issues came from the Dr. Mundo blind with leaving Gwen up, and as well as having Rel, and they picked Vagar. They played really well. Like the draft wise, they've had a really, really good draft for us. And I feel like they executed it a lot better than what we had. We kind of, I don't know, we just kind of had to put the pieces together the first game as well. We kind of took some bad fights. So they played, the gentlemen played well into playing into us that first game for sure.
Looking ahead to the rest of the season, obviously we're here in week 1. Is there anyone in Group C that you guys have kind of circled on the calendar? Anyone in the other groups that you're looking forward to face? Obviously, you're in a bit of a unique spot, right? Because you're, the high alert Orgoner, but you're playing under TV. Are you hoping to get to face off against the Nightmares at some point? Tell me about your season.
Of course. Yeah, of course. I'm excited to play. I hope I get matched up against high alert. I love those guys. Click. I'm really big friends with Click and Star and why can't I think of his Banana, and then Dot of course was on my econ team last split. Yeah, those guys were really awesome. I'm super excited to play against. I hope I play against them in playoffs sometime, just because I think it would be fun. As far as who we kind of have circled in C, personally, I love Milk Esports, so I'm excited to play Buttermilk. I believe that's week 4, and then of course KFC. Next week I'm super excited about because that'll be my first time playing KFC ever. And they're historic, so that's kind of who I have circled on my list.
It's a long time rivalry in the LBLCS. Pretty much every season, except for last season in financial, because KFC was an exec, but they always find a way to face off. Usually it ends up being in the playoffs, but we're gonna get a little bit of an early taste this season. So I'm looking forward to that matchup next week. Any other questions, Popoba?
I think you just about covered it, other than maybe any suggestions on who we should raid.
Itty Bitty Banshee streaming, so that's the obvious answer, right?
I have no idea who that is.
That's Vega's girlfriend. Vega's girlfriend. Itty Bitty Banshee, who also plays in the LBLCS on Strawberry Milk. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, Strawberry Milk gonna be taking on the other TV financial team, the Rat Knights. I think that game is set for Saturday, so I'm curious to see how that one plays out. Looks like we can go ahead and raid on over. I've actually never executed.
I think I can do the
raid
command for you.
Yeah, you can go ahead. There you go. We are raiding Itty Bitty Banshee. Everybody who stuck with us tonight, despite the late start, we appreciate you. Thank you for hanging out and watching some banger League of Legends. Might have some more coming out tomorrow. And with that, we wish you guys a good night. Peace, peace.
Peace.
Did you hit the raid button? Okay,
Hit the rate button.
Okay, just making sure.